What's up, guys? I'm playing drums for the Montoya Machine on June 6th at Day Block Brewing. We are playing support for Heed the Warning with Casanatra and another band called Far, Far Away. Shows at 6 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. It is a 21-plus event. Go to Day Block Brewing for any extra details. We are fucking live, boys.
Woo!
Welcome to the podcast, gentlemen. Heed the Warning.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited to have you guys on the podcast. And like right before, I just said, I'm super stoked for this show. I haven't been, and I say this a lot because I probably am coming out of a 10 to 12-year retirement to be a part of this band.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've done some like fill-in stuff in the meantime, but I think this will be our fourth or fifth show for me back, and so I've kind of said it. Oh, I haven't been this excited about something in a long time. So I get it. It sounded a little. It's starting to lose its luster. You know what I mean? Its impact, but it's true. It's still true. Like, I'm super pumped for this show. I'm hoping the turnout's going to be good. I have a good, like sixth sense for how well we're going to draw.
Oh yeah,
and I
not to toot my own horn, but I've sold a lot of pre-sales, and I've just been like plugging this one harder than any show I've done yet this year.
So let me ask you, how? Okay, let me put the context out there. There was a period of time where I worked in the industry putting on and booking shows. Okay, but before that, as I was kind of coming up, I would hear that either, and I'm probably going to fuck this up, rock shows do a lot of pre-sales, metal shows don't do any pre-sales, or vice versa, one of them. So depending on what genre of music you're basing your concert on, or booking for your concert, sorry, you can extrapolate some sort of math and go, we sold this many tickets in pre-sale, so we know we're going to get X.
Yep.
In metal, there's, I think it's way less pre-sales, so you might only sell 200 pre-sales, but you still have 1,500 people show up to your venue. So, and I might be fucking this up, it might be backwards. Do you guys, being in your genre of music, do you guys have like a solid, or is it completely random from town to town? Like if you sell, and you don't have to say a number, because I don't care if it's 50 pre-sale tickets or 500 pre-sale tickets. If you sell X, do you kind of know what Y is going to be?
I would say right now, no, for us.
Right. Yeah, no.
You know, we were actually just talking about this today.
Because you're also kind of back from a hiatus too, right? You guys have like reformed or re-released some stuff, right?
We're kind of a brand new band, to be honest with you. But it all kind of like.
So your bio just makes it sound like you guys.
Yeah. It started.
Years,
this whole thing started as like a studio project between Mike and I, and then after getting in the studio, we were like, oh, we should put a band together. And
then, do this for real.
And then we didn't want to come out right away because wanted to tighten some things up, and so we waited a little bit, and then
years actually.
Yeah.
Well, just waited. Worked and worked.
And part of it too is just building the band, because we wanted to get the right people for the project, and that takes some time.
Absolutely.
You can go with whoever, but like it makes a lot more sense to like really think about it, try people out, and just be honest with yourselves and think about whether these people are going to be right for the project.
I was watching one of Mike's videos from The Art of Guitar. I mentioned him before the podcast. That's where that came from, by the way.
Okay.
So Mike from The Art of Guitar came on the podcast and left a bunch of cool fucking random retro souvenirs behind.
Yeah. Love that.
But he said that he did a whole great video. If you guys, anybody, listeners, you guys check his stuff out. He makes great content. He's does guitar lessons, but he also does like reviews, and he's got like 1 million subscribers now. He's awesome.
Wow.
He's really great. But he said like about the audition process, about how he didn't get one gig because they just got along with the other guy better, and then he didn't get another gig because this guy had a lot of money and he was going to make their financial future easier.
Sure.
He didn't get this other gig because They were looking for a chick. He didn't get this other gig because this other guy just had a lot of equipment, and so logistically it made the band run smoother.
Yeah.
He didn't get another gig because that person had an uncle who knew some people and could help him get better gigs and better connections, right? So
Yeah.
it's all of those things when trying to find the right people. And I think the hang is both underrated and overrated, because I definitely want to get along with all my band members, and for the most part I do, but I have this phrase, and tell me what you guys think of this. I have this phrase: you can't create fire without a little friction.
Yeah.
Which means
that's a good point.
if we always get along perfectly, it means none of us really care.
Yeah.
And so nobody's really fighting for any songs.
Yeah, 'cause
nobody's really fighting for any riffs or fighting for any ideas, because nobody really gives a fuck. So what I
totally
say
agree.
is, you find me a band who gets along perfectly, I will find you a band that writes shitty songs.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
that's my
absolutely.
personal opinion on it.
Or
Like,
the live show isn't as good or something.
Yeah.
right.
You-
There's
you
got to
have
be a
have
little
some amount
tension.
of care where the tension is present then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because also think about it, right? When it comes to the hang and how much you care about each other, there's another cliche: the people who know us the best, the people closest to us, see the worst parts of us.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Your
100%.
sister, your parents,
Yep.
your brother,
Yeah.
your wife, whoever it may be, right?
100%.
So yeah, I that resonates with me, because we kind of
Definitely.
we want a second guitar player. We just haven't found the right guy. There's a couple guys we
That's
asked,
funny.
and they were like, it wasn't right for them. And we were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fuck.
we
But we
would-
didn't add another guy to add another guy.
Yeah.
To your point.
We went through that too, and it was actually kind of funny because we had a four piece, and it was sounding great, and Shannon was the one that was just like, this is always five. It's in his head there's 5 people and there's a second guitarist, and he had one in specific that was in mind, and as soon as that guy came in the room, it was like, okay, this is
no, things are
something's
happening.
jumped, and then we got lucky that it just also happened to be a great hang too. So now we had this like
Pull
fifth
that mic a
person.
little closer to
We
you.
had this like 5th person that just locked all this stuff in. It's locked the
Yep.
sound in, locked an attitude. So it's huge. That's why you can't take it lightly. Like you add that extra person, and it's just so much that can come from it, and then so much that you're sharing, especially if you're hitting the road. This is somebody you're spending an extended amount of time with, all that stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm with you. I think it's overrated and underrated. I would argue it's more underrated though at times, honestly. Like just people don't think about that enough.
Most of the time, it's
because there's just
and
so
then there's
much
certain
time.
bands that it's way overrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to kick that guy out, and they're like, yeah, but he's like the coolest guy in the band. I'm
Right.
like, he also sucks.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of it is, for me at least, the way I was raised, which is very underprivileged, blue collar, kind of hood rat, street level. A lot of it's about respect. Like, I don't have to always like you or get along with you, but if I respect you, I will deal with your bullshit.
Absolutely.
And I will
Totally
respect you for a number of reasons. It might be your mind, the way you approach a song. You
Yep.
might not even write the best parts.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but every time this guy says a part isn't right or a transition isn't right, he's right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hell
So
yeah.
even if he doesn't come up with the good idea, like, this is the guy who doesn't let bullshit go out the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a super important role for every
Absolutely,
fucking
absolutely.
band.
Everybody-
You know what I mean?
Everybody
Oh my
needs to be
God.
checked regardless of how
Yeah.
well you
Yeah.
feel you are at like writing stuff. It's like
Yep.
it's got to be checked by the entire band and viewed for relevancy, and make sure you're not like copying a song that already exists, because obviously that there's a lot of potential for that. And it's so weird because now we've been in this age where like rock and roll's been around for what, like 75 years ish now, maybe even before that slightly.
Yeah, just
And there's-
the only
There's so
argument
many
is when you decided rock was officially a
Yeah.
thing versus
Yeah,
the
yeah.
like birthplace of it. or the
Exactly.
origins,
And there's
right?
so many, like, it's really tough to just write something completely original, maybe almost impossible. But as long as you put your own spin on it, then, you make good shit.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% for sure. You could almost make... Fuck that. That's stupid. Let me ask you this. Where'd the band name come from? Because it's a dope band name. I'm obsessed with good band names, and I hate
I
shitty
appreciate
band names.
people, we have gotten good
It's a
feedback
great
on that.
band
Yeah.
It was really tough to come up with. Honestly, writing songs for us has never been a struggle.
No.
Making the fucking band name
Dude,
was
that
like the
took forever.
toughest thing.
Like,
It
and
might
we-
be the most important
we did our
single
research
decision
too,
you ever
and
make in your entire
and we
career.
knew it,
anytime
yeah.
somebody would like come up with an idea,
Yeah.
we had to like look it up online and do some
Yeah.
extensive research
Yeah,
to make
dude.
sure nobody else has it,
Yeah.
because like that just down the the road that just leads to so many problems, like
Yep.
people being able to find your music. And it's like ironic how many bands I hear of that have like the same name as another band. It's like you guys didn't like think
That's
about
one of the
this,
reasons
you know
we have
what I
such a
mean?
shitty name. 2 reasons. It's Jeremy's solo project. He wrote all the music. So he goes, Jared, do you think I should put my name on it? And I go, yep. And he goes, I'm going to call it the Montoya Machine. And I go, that sucks, but cool.
Hey, it's kind of like Van
unique.
Halen, right?
Like
It's
no
kinda
one,
unique.
no
Right.
one,
Yeah.
like there's 0 perverted searches. That's what I call
Yeah.
perverted searches. Where you go to
100%.
search,
Yeah.
like for example, if you're looking to build a sandbox for your child,
Yeah.
and you just randomly go on the internet, fill my box, you're gonna get a lot of shit that is
Yeah.
not related
Yeah.
to children's
Or
sandboxes.
sand, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So heed
Oh, yeah.
the warning. I looked it up. I
Right.
saw what references it brought up. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, there was a
Same thing with
almost
our
no
dumb
competition.
band name.
Yeah.
And my theory on that is like we're not inventing words at the same speed as we're inventing bands, and so it gets increasingly harder as time goes on to come up
that's
with like
super
a
deep.
yeah.
It's true.
You'll get to know
Yeah,
me. I'm
man.
pretty deep. I'm pretty deep. I get deep into the milk.
Fucking balls deep.
Nobody
baby.
understands what that is, but you will.
Deep into the milk.
Oh,
I just
With
I
it. Oh.
I drink milk. It's weird.
All the time.
Oh, that's
Like
right,
all the
'cause your
time.
nickname's Milky.
Yeah. That
Deep
came up on
into
the
the
last
milk.
the
He
last
loves
tour.
it
It's
so
like
much.
it's a weird thing to like, and I always think about Always Sunny, and you got the what are they, the twins?
Oh yeah,
They're drinking
coils.
yeah,
The coil
with their
boils,
sweaty,
yes.
acne-ridden faces and everything. It's like
Yeah.
I like to think I'm slightly better than that, but I am also a fan of milk.
You do a lot of the same eye contact and
Yeah,
postures.
heavy
and
breathing,
coils.
mouth
Yeah,
breathing.
yeah, exactly. Kind of watching you from a corner.
I heard
at
you
some
sounded on
point-
bass last night.
At some point, you should just start wearing McBoyle.
I'm gonna tattoo a milk carton on me somewhere. I haven't
No,
figured
dude, you
out
just
where,
gotta,
but
you got to make it
the
like
rope.
like
Forehead.
a very low key inside joke at shows. So like you just wear T-shirts with that dude's face out with
Yeah.
one of the 2
Oh,
twins
yeah.
on it, or the sister, or
yeah.
just
the
a glass
sister.
of milk.
And I was telling you about that the Paul I have earlier.
Well,
It's
when
not
you
a
guys
Les
grab me a beer out
Paul.
of that fridge, please.
It's a the Paul, and I want to paint it white. It's like a natural walnut color
Thank you,
right
sir.
now, but it's got to be white. I was originally thinking black because I wear black all the time, but like also white stands out so much, you know, when you're on stage. And with the whole milky thing happen, it's like it's got to be white now.
Yeah, the only 2 colors that are appropriate on stage that look proper, especially if you're in a band like either of ours where you move and you sweat,
Yeah.
it's black and white.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything else, as you sweat, like don't
Yeah.
wear red.
Like a-
Don't
I've
wear
seen-
red.
I've
or
seen
gray, because you're
doing
gonna
like
have
a-
black pits.
or like
gray
Yeah.
is the worst.
Or like
Gray
a
is the
green,
worst. Yellow is all-
green shirt, you know, like a green button up, and then he
Yes.
raises his arm. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
god, like what's going
I guess
on?
brown would work too, but
Yeah.
brown just looks like shit,
Right.
literally.
Yeah, it's
like,
just a bad
and
tone.
figuratively. It's just a
Yeah.
bad tone, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad color tone.
You know, I didn't think about this.
So
earlier,
where did you
but
come up with the name? No, I just don't want to get too
Was
far
a
off the beat.
bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
workshopping for the most
yeah.
part.
So we're
Somebody
it's,
read a book?
you know, it was
Didn't
just
I think you came with it.
Yeah, it was
um,
Shannon.
I was just kind of like sitting around. I was like, okay, like what's a, how do we get people to listen? And I was like thinking about words that like rhyme with listen or like go along
Stick
with
close.
listening. And heed is another word for
Get
listen.
it closer to
And
you. There you go.
and I was like heed, and then I brought it to Mike, and he was like, yeah, I like that, but there needs to be something to it. And
I think there's probably
sounds
other
alright.
heeds too
Yeah.
that we found online, so,
So
it's
you
got to be
didn't
something
set
else.
out with, we're going to do a phrase. We're going to be a
Well,
one-word
we
band
kind
name.
of,
Totally.
I mean, like I think a lot of bands set out. We try. It's like we want one word that's
we did.
2 syllables at most. If it's the same thing everybody goes through. It's like, can we just have one cool word no one somehow used?
That's
2
like
syllables,
impossible
easily
these
easily
days.
pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it started. But I don't know. In the end, it was kind of interesting how even with heed the warning, it often becomes heed. We didn't think about it, but we got what we wanted. It's like a 1 word, 1 syllable,
Yeah.
easy to pronounce. Everyone knows how to spell it and what it is.
Oh, I was just gonna say a lot of people like heed. Like, what does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've had a few people but it pauses them to stop, and now they're thinking about it more too, so they're more likely to remember it.
Yep.
Which is huge in a band name. Is you want people to remember it, obviously,
do
because then
see
they are able to look it up and everything.
One speed bump in this theory. And it's a speed bump, not a problem.
Don't
Yeah,
piss
it's a
me
speed
off, man.
bump.
Don't piss me off. Just kidding.
Get ready for
Something we
table
always
flip,
tell
Mike.
each other on the van. Don't piss
Coheed
me
and
off.
Cambria is already shortened to Coheed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be
Yeah.
heed, some people are gonna
That's a good point.
Like if you're doing it quick in conversations in loud rooms,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, then we can just be the warning, I guess.
Or we're just
I'm
asking
sure
for
is a
honestly-
band name already.
Honestly, I don't think it's really an issue because the phrase itself rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Heed the warning.
Right.
You know, because what is
Yeah.
it? 4 syllables?
Four
Heed
syllables,
the
yep,
warning.
exactly.
Guess what else is 4 syllables? Metallica. You know what I mean? So I don't think it has to be shortened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love your logo because please
Yes.
tell me that your logo, the HTW, please tell me somebody likes Wu-Tang.
We're all fans of
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
Because
Definitely.
it is basically
It's
like
got
the
some
white
Wu-Tang.
boy rocker version of Wu-Tang, and I fucking saw it and I loved it.
That should be our
Please
new bio.
tell me that was
Thank you.
The
intentional.
white boy.
no.
Or
version
at
of
least,
Wu-Tang.
But,
or at least a
like,
happy
It
accident.
was a very happy accident. I was looking at it after it was sent to me, and then I was like, "Huh, dude, no shit. Look at that. It's
Yeah.
the Wu."
It's great because it'll get somebody to take a second look.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But
it's kind
as
of
soon
iconic.
as you take the second look, you go, "Oh, that's not that logo.
Yeah, no.
What is that?"
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the most important thing about any version of your name, of your logo, of
And the
your
music,
flyers.
too.
I told you had a great flyer for the show.
Yeah.
I'm very, very vocal about what makes a good flyer, what makes good promo material, and
Yeah.
what you need is for somebody to see it out of the corner of their eye in passing, and they turn and look back and go, what is that?
Exactly.
If they subconsciously or verbally, outwardly, because it happens, they'll go, what is that? You got them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the peak of your advertising or promo,
Yeah.
and that includes your name, your logo, your flyers, everything you do online. What is
Yeah.
that?
And I
Yeah.
think the same goes for the marketing
Especially in a band. Look at
Or,
us.
sorry,
Look at
not-
us. We all look like the fucking same person.
right.
too. The music too. Like I kind of strive for shit when I'm writing riffs. I want people to be reminded of something, but it's like our own twist on it. You know what I mean? And that I feel like that's where you get them. Like when there's some certain familiarity, but it's in a different way.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. I also really liked the just black and white. Because right now I'm doing our flyer materials. I'm going the other direction right now. I'm going old school. I've been doing like retro art. So one of our
Yeah.
flyers I did was like basically kind of a ripoff of a GTA female
Oh, nice.
style. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like in
yeah,
those
yeah,
loading
talking our
screens.
language.
Yeah,
I took
totally.
a chick who's not from GTA because I didn't want to get.
Yep.
But I found some generic art online and I was like, I'm using this.
Yep.
And then I just built everything around her. And then this one I'm using like retro comic book art. So it's like yellow, red, blue, black. Right. So I've
Oh,
got like
yeah.
these pops.
Yeah.
You know, this dynamic color thing.
Yeah.
But. And there's this guy named Justin Boney. He's been on the podcast a few times. He's one of the best artists in town. He did the Surly Darkness stuff for the last couple of years. He plays bass for a band called Cymothwa, and they're fucking awesome. They don't even have a singer, and they're just fucking. They did a version of their album with guest singers. It's actually pretty cool. So they have their album, which it's an all instrumental. That's their thing.
Sick.
And then they re-released that same album with different
Oh,
singers
love
on it.
that.
It's
Yeah.
fucking cool,
Love
right?
that.
It's
Really
fucking
cool.
super
Yeah.
cool, right?
Yeah.
He does a lot of vibrant art for his flyers, and I think he might make the single best flyers in town.
Yeah.
But if you go look at like old Johnny Rook photos or flyers, I don't know if you guys remember that band. They've been around forever. The guy that does their stuff, it's very artistic. But again, you see that thing pop, and you're like, "What is that?" And then you go, "Oh, it's for bands. Oh, it's a music venue. Oh, this must be a show. This is a concert. Cool."
Yep.
But it's such good art
Yeah.
that you go, "That's actually, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's the best you could possibly ask for."
And maybe this is
Because your fans are already going to be engaged.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. That's what I'm really getting at. Your people who are already into your shit, they're already going to know that's your cult. You're
Yeah.
making a cult, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they're going to be into it.
go ahead. What were you
Well, I
gonna
was
say?
just gonna say. I mean, maybe we're biased, or I'm biased about it, but it's like I've seen really, really good concert posters for it's maybe a smallerish show, but it's like you assume it's something way more important because of the amount of art that went into that. So
Correct.
that's
Yep.
also I just loved that amount of effort.
Yep.
That goes into something that seems on the surface like maybe it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal for everybody. You know,
Yep.
you even think about the show we're doing. Like you were talking about, it's like you've had a bit of a hiatus. You've had a couple of shows, but you're so amped for this one. I mean, like, it's it's pretty special for all of us. So like, you add that cool art piece element to it. I don't know. I think it's got a it's just interesting how that can really add to draw some people in that
Well,
otherwise wouldn't be into it.
Like, I really just like how, like, you just have your name at the top, and then in very subtle writing right underneath, you have all three
Joker
band
Man
names
font. No, just kidding.
in the same size.
Yep.
Right? Like,
Yep.
even I fail to do this sometimes. I tend to, the headliner should be the biggest name, and then slightly smaller is direct support, and then you just slightly scale it down, and you
Yeah.
end up with this, like, kind of tornado look. It's
Yep.
pretty natural, right?
Absolutely.
But man, you guys just kind of, like, did this beautiful, subtle, last-minute flyer,
Yep.
and it just works perfectly, dude.
Yeah.
Like, all the names are just right there at the top. Like, we're advertising a Heed the Warning show.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so smart, the marketing of it. Like, yeah, we're all on the
I was
bill.
gonna say shout out to Shannon because
Yeah.
that's all him. And,
And-
every time he creates something, I'm just like, this is fucking cool.
I
and
will
I've never
also say
felt that
this,
about
dude.
like somebody who creates flyers for a band that I've been in.
I will also
True.
say this. I'm starting a religion called "Don't make extra flyers for shows." there's one
And
flyer for
extra
the show,
Facebook
and we
events.
all share that. Yeah, no, fuck you.
One
No.
Facebook event. Don't make multiple Facebook events.
100%.
Get everybody on the
One-
same
one
host
singular.
because, like, we all know how algorithms work at this point.
Yes.
And like the band, I used to be in a cover band, and they would like do like multiple fucking event pages, and it would be like, oh, the casino's doing one, and then the band's doing one, and it's like, what? Do you guys understand like how social media works at all?
No.
Like at a like the
Or even
smallest
just
level.
basic marketing.
Yeah,
like, we're pushing
exactly.
an image
Exactly.
that is associated with an event.
Right.
And we're all going to push it. And what we're trying to do is get people to go, I can't get away from this thing.
Yeah, some cohesion to it,
Something's
like-
happening
Yeah,
here. I
yeah.
want to be a part of it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's really talk about what's happening here. We're creating an emotional reaction. We're either going to create a hater who
Yep.
goes, fuck this. Every time I log into Facebook, I see this stupid fucking flyer.
Yep.
Fuck these bands. And hopefully he even grabs it and he shares it and he goes, fuck all
this
these
band,
bands. These fucking idiots. Fuck them. I'm so sick of this
Nobody go here at
oversaturated
7 p.m.
bullshit. These wannabes.
Yep.
Or somebody goes, man, this thing's all over the place. Something's happening here.
Right.
I should probably check this out.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
one of those two reactions we're going for,
Yeah.
man. Either one of
You're not
them
wrong.
are very positive for
Yep.
us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that only happens if that flyer is unanimously, and you could have variations on it, but that's part of an art package.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if we would have jumped on, and we should do something again like next year or the year after or something like that. Like, I like to do things with bands at least once a year. If we
Yeah.
like them and we vibe and, we get a good cross-pollination of crowds. We'll get to that next, about the same 4 bands drawing the same 200 people over and over again. Also, stop doing that, guys. That's what I love about this show is you guys draw a completely different crowd than we draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys are going to get to play in front of our fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
vice versa.
your fans show up early enough
Cross-pollination.
to where we
Yeah.
get to play in front of your fans.
Absolutely.
And same thing with Casanatra, and
Yep.
same thing with Far, Far Away.
Absolutely.
And I always, again, not to get too far off the beaten path, but this is when I book shows, this is how I structure it. I go, opening band, your job is to draw X. It might be 10, it might be 50, it might be 100.
Yep.
Correct.
But your job is to draw X and get them there right away. So not just you're playing in front of your people, but what the real point is that there's already bodies in the room.
Yep.
So when the second band's fans get there, they're warmly invited to the room.
Feels like
There's
a thing
already a
starting.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
It's not
Yep.
weird. It's not awkward. They're not the first ones to
Yeah.
the party.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is important. This
100%.
is psychology.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
Big
real entertainment psychology. So then you now have an opportunity as the opening band to potentially, this is the key, potentially play in front of the second band's fans
Yep.
towards the end of your set. So if you're a smart opening band, you put all your good shit at the end.
Yep.
Because you know you're going to open basically the people who already love you. Okay? As the second band plays, if the first band's not a bunch of assholes, they convince their fans to stick behind and check out the second band. Now the second band is playing in front of their fans who are now filling the room. Plus, maybe they get some new fans from that opening band. They stuck around because the opening band isn't a group of assholes who immediately schedule an after party, unload their gear, and leave and
We've had
take
a few
50
of
people
those.
back out the door. Those are assholes, and you shouldn't play shows with them.
Correct.
Yep. Damn straight.
And then this cascades down. So my band, in our bill, we're playing third, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to be lucky enough to hopefully play in front of Cast Sinatra fans that stay behind.
Yeah.
As your fans are filling the room.
Yep.
So this is why the second and third slots are almost as coveted as much as being the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we do our job and they do their job and you do your job, the second and third bands all get a chance to legitimately expose their music and their live band to a group of people who would never have the opportunity or the willingness to ever come see us at our own thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
Totally.
And
It's
this
kinda like a
sounds
pyramid
so
scheme when you think
obvious when
about
we
it.
say thank you.
But it's like a
sounds
legit
super
pyramid scheme, you know?
obvious.
Yeah.
When we say this out loud.
Yeah.
And the only reason the headlining band has any other bands is to help sell tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't give a
Because
fuck
if
about
you
y'all.
don't, because
No.
if you're Metallica on the Black Album tour, do you know who opened that tour?
Not in the Black
Billy
Album.
Joel.
I talk,
AC/DC?
dude, I get super pretentious sometimes when I drink a little too much. I don't like the tone
Same
of my
here.
voice right now.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
I'm like, do
and
you know
I'm not
who
actually
did
an
this?
asshole. I just I like
That's
being
not
funny.
trivia, yeah.
So it was their
Cosplay
own
as an
DVD.
asshole.
Or their own VHS tape.
Oh
so
my God.
the Black Album tour,
opened
the
themselves.
opening band was the documentary of them
Damn.
making the Black Album. A year and a half in the life of Metallica.
That's nuts.
They played it in its entirety before Metallica went on.
Yeah.
Huh. I've never heard
Yeah.
of that.
That's how big they were
Yeah.
in 1991 when that album came out, dude.
That's
so
insane.
the only reason, to put this back into context and perspective of our conversation, the only reason you ever need anybody else to come to your show as the headliner, and this includes us in September, is because if you're the headliner, you outdraw everybody. That's the whole point. Like, we're the draw.
Generally, yeah.
You guys are here to see us.
Yep.
Let's not pretend that's a bad thing. I hate this. There's
Yeah.
this weird thing in this town. We'll get to this later. But no, the reality is if I'm the headliner, you're here to see me. If you're the headliner, we're here to see you.
Yeah.
The only reason other bands are there is because those are either our homies or we're looking to sell some extra tickets. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else's job and motivation to be on that bill is to get to network with you, to get to put you on their resume, right? Like there's some opening bands who get to say, we opened
Oh,
for
yeah.
Heed the Warning on their one sheet as
Oh,
part
yeah.
of their
Yep.
press kit.
100%. Yeah,
This
right?
matters, dude. This
Big time.
fucking matters,
Oh,
dude.
that does, yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of the
Yeah.
tour that we got coming up in June, like basically right after the show.
Yeah.
Shannon can
Sometimes
talk.
you do things just to say you did it.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
You know?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
But I just have a question, though, because I'm curious about this. So, because I do not disagree with you in the least. However, I have been a part of a band that for a little bit, we, for whatever reason, were opening more than we were closing. And we had so much fun opening, and we legitimately, like the way that I hear comedians talk about it, we warmed up a crowd.
Sure.
Like, we got the people that were there were then, by the time the headliner came on, we're ready for, like, it's like, if you're bringing a good live show, we're ready for this now. And I don't think that happens. I think what you're talking about is way more like the way it goes. But man, oh man, if you can get that though, like if we might have this on Friday, which I'm excited for, it's like we got this good sort of grouping of people that should be bringing different audiences together, and somewhere between the second and third, if we do it right, we're gonna like warm each group up and force the next group to bring their A game in a good way. That, because I don't know, it's pretty rare, but I've actually been around that a couple of times, and it's the best because it just brings out the best in everybody. It's like the crowd definitely has a good time, and the bands know it too. They're like, shit, what was that? Like, god damn it, we gotta, all right, like no messing around. Let's maybe drop this song because we got to keep it tight. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun if you can get a little group of people like that too.
I think everything you said is 100% correct, and I don't think that contradicts the first thing we were talking about either.
No.
That's the irony of the music business and booking
Right,
shows, right?
right.
Is like I want to headline certain local shows. We'll play direct support for you guys. We will open a show because in July we're going to open 2 shows. We're going to open a local bill, which isn't really a local bill because the headlining band is technically one of those like
Regional touring or something.
I wouldn't even call them regional. What I would call them is semi-national, and I'm kind of making this term up because half of the band is from North Carolina or South Carolina, and the other half of the band is from Minneapolis.
Oh wow, okay.
Right, so I call that semi-national
Yeah.
because you're not a regional band. A regional band means you're from Minneapolis and you sell 200 to 500 tickets in the entirety of the Midwest down to St. Louis or name your fucking city, right? That's a regional.
Absolutely.
These guys are like building something in hops. It's a little different vibe.
Interesting.
They're
Cool.
all from Minnesota, but two of the guys are in South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So they got a thing going down there, and they're building another thing up here, which is kind of dope. If you really think about it, it's actually kind of genius, right?
Oh yeah, because
But
they can just
also
switch the seasons
got
if they
good
wanted
jobs,
to too.
right? They got good jobs. A couple of them work remote, so they
Yeah.
can kind of hop around, and this is the dream, right?
That's my dream.
Let's say that's a whole other thing we could get into is
Well, and we'll
how
get
musicians survive, like
Yeah,
your
we'll get
hybrid
there.
careers you have to do
Yes.
just to
And-
be a
and-
musician.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
God I got enough vacation days. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, if you work construction, you're probably fucked.
well, that's
it's
interesting you mentioned that.
Unless
because,
you work 410s. Unless you work 410s.
But we have a construction boss at the table right now.
exactly. You go to the
He makes his
management,
own hours.
and then you can make your own. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
then you-
remote. It's a
yeah.
remote job.
That's the
yeah.
point, right?
Let me
100%.
just
But I also
answer
know
a
a
few
dude.
emails.
I also knew a dude who did work manual labor,
Yeah.
and he worked Monday through Thursday. He did 12s.
Yeah.
So he was still doing 48 hours.
Wow.
But Thursday night he was done
Damn.
at, because I think he did roofing.
Oh my God. 12
Might have
hours.
done
of
That's my
roofing a
guy.
day.
That's my
Jeez.
world.
He
Yeah.
actually might have
Give
done
him-
siding,
give
but
Adam his
either way,
contact
that's my
info.
you're,
world.
outdoor,
Yeah.
you're outdoors in the sun,
Yep.
and they start early.
Oh yeah.
So it really doesn't matter what he was doing. But the point
Yeah.
is by like Thursday at like 5 p.m., he was done with a 48-hour work week. And then literally, his band would pick him up from the job site.
Yeah.
Sounds right. Lock in for the second
And by
job.
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever, they were already done sound checking and headlining a Thursday night show by 10, 11. Because this is pre-pandemic. So
yeah.
your headliner didn't go on till 11 at
It's
the
crazy
earliest.
how that's changed.
Midnight.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
interesting you brought that
We'll,
up.
we'll get to that
Yeah,
too
yeah,
in a
for
minute.
sure.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
But when I hung out with him, I got really close to this guy when I
Yeah.
was super young, man. Like every time they came into town, I was basically his like in-town drum tech.
yeah.
I don't even remember his name. This is the fucked up part. This is because it didn't last long, but they came in town like every like 90 days. I think his name was Dan or Dave, but he was the drummer for a band called the Goodyear Pimps. And this dude taught me more in those like 4 or 5 shows I
Yep.
essentially buddied up with him and teched for him, sort of. Like, it was weird things. I didn't really tech for him. What really happened was this. They played at a club. Have you guys ever been to the Doghouse in Maplewood?
Oh yeah.
You know that
Certainly
path
have.
to get to the backstage
I've
behind
never-
the drum set?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we were such a fucking dope community that all the drummers in town would go stand in that alleyway and stand behind the drummer and just watch the drummer
Hell
play
yeah.
from
God,
like
that's awesome.
from me to you.
Yeah.
Like literally, where your crotch is the front of his kick drum. That's how close we are. Like
Yeah.
we're literally hovering over him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we started doing this, and this was just a thing. So the better drummer you were, the more drummers you had behind you hanging out and vibing with you.
God, that's
it was kind of like this weird unsung,
Yeah.
like as I'm saying this to anybody who watches, they're all going to go, that is true. But nobody's ever said this out loud until
Yeah.
this conversation.
Yeah.
So the better drummer you were, the more drummers you had behind you. Now, I was playing at that club and drawing pretty well for so long that I would just kind of hang out there when I liked a drummer, right? I didn't even play drums at the time. And I got to know this band, the Goodyear Pimps. And so then I started hanging out behind him, just watching him. But then he started to like me and
Yeah,
trust me. So it started out with, hey, here's my drink ticket. Will you go get me Jameson and Coke? Right? And then
yeah.
the next time it was, dude, here. And he hands me his one hitter, his dugout. And he's like, pack me a one hitter. And I'm like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And then he hits it in between songs. You know, stupid shit
Yep,
like
yep.
that. And then it just sort of built it. And then it didn't culminate in this, but the most impactful thing I got out of this relationship was he said a phrase to me that I will never forget for the rest of my life. He said, I'd rather swing a drumstick than a hammer. Because I was asking in what set that, I don't even remember what the actual question was, but what the setup was is like, yo, like, how and why do you work so hard and efficiently in this, like every single weekend you play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you're back in town. Why? And he goes, well, I'd rather swing a drumstick than a hammer. Now, there was a 45-minute conversation that happened after that when I asked, what do you mean? But the moral of the story was, I got to do this, but I want to do that.
Right. Exactly.
And
Yep.
so I'm going to cram all my hours into the front of my week
Yep.
because in fact, I don't want to do this and have to do that.
Exactly.
It's kind of the opposite.
That's my life.
I need to do that, but I have to do this.
That's my life. I
I
need a way.
have to do the
I need
music
a way to make money, purchase gear,
Amen. Yeah.
go on tour and everything. My day job, I do like it, but it's not what I want to do with my life. But I'm just like looking for a way out, which is a good segue, because that's one of our new songs on the new album, and I think that's a big part of what that song's about. Is just like
we
we're all.
finally heard from. He's the quietest singer of all time, by the way.
yeah.
We finally heard from him 45 minutes
It's
in, and he
just-
goes,
He makes up for it on stage. You'll see.
That's this
I
band
believe
is
it.
like
I
we're all
believe
looking
it.
for a way out of the fucking
sense the aura,
grind.
as the young kids would call it.
We are everybody's tired of the grind. Nobody wants to work anymore. But like, being a musician and being able to make money at it, that's the end goal.
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but it's like fun work. Like I want to do that work. I want to do every piece of it, and we were talking about that earlier
And
too.
sometimes the partying is also work.
yeah.
Like sometimes you got to do the
networking
partying
end of it for sure.
Yeah, you got to go
Yeah.
get drunk with the people,
Yep,
and like
yep.
Hang with
sometimes
fans,
certain people want to see you get shit faced because they got to see you how you are when you're blackout drunk.
That's actually that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
It reminds me of,
and then they want to see you.
our last
Can
song.
you get up the next day
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be
And keep
dope as
going.
fuck
Oh, yeah.
again?
All I need is some
That's
milk.
also part of the test,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So like
a little bit of milk. And I'll be
even the
good.
partying sometimes, as fun as it seems, is what did Motley Crue say? We work 10 times as hard as we party, and they partied very hard.
Oh, yeah, they
yeah,
party hard.
right.
Yeah.
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 I don't necessarily believe that with them, but I get the sentiment.
But I think that's actually that
I think
is
they lied, but
that's
it's a cool
traditionally-
phrase.
They got shit.
well, but especially in that era, nowadays you could all, for better or for worse, there's just so much more access. So you could have a problem and not be good at it, and you still can get a bunch of music out and seem like you're working hard. But it's like, to get a deal and to be that big back in that day, yeah, you had to. I mean, if you're gonna party
to
like
break
that,
out from LA on the Sunset Strip.
you had
that
to
means
also work
you're
your ass off.
You're doing the flyering, physical hand. Which let's get back to that just for a brief moment. Like talking about promo, that's something that's missing, and my band is definitely about to get back to this because I will not fucking leave this hill. I'm dying on this hill.
Oh yeah.
Especially because I got a little brother who's 20. I'm 40. I don't know how old you guys are. You look, give or take, my age, 5 to 10 years.
I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm the
You look
oldest of the
like you'd
group.
be fucking
I got-
22.
I got told
You
last
look
weekend I
exactly
was
my age.
26,
Yeah.
and I was
Slightly
like, nope,
better
higher,
looking, but
higher.
exactly my age.
Yeah. But, in the music business,
You look-
you gotta
you
look
look-
young.
You look.
Go ahead,
No,
say
he's,
it.
he's like
20.
Gandalf.
I have to say
probably been
22
around for a
because you're
million
drinking
years.
beer.
Yeah. No, for
You're
sure,
drinking
for
beer.
sure.
So I'm gonna say 22.
I was at a
And
house
don't say
show.
you're less than 22.
No. I was at a house show just last Saturday, and some
We
guy
are
was like,
live
"How
on the
old are
internet."
you?" And I was like, "We'll take a guess." And he goes, 26. And I was like, "Nope, keep going." And it was like 3 increments of like, "No, older than that. Nope, older than that. Still older than that."
Okay, well
Like-
now you can admit how old
Yeah,
you are.
34,
Okay,
34.
thank God.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna
legitimately,
look
if you
great
would have
when
been
I'm
like,
80.
I'm 20,
That's
I'd have
what
been like,
this is all
I'd
about.
have had to be like, all right. Exactly. That happened once on the podcast.
I'll show you
That
my
happened once on the
license. I
podcast.
swear.
Oh, I can believe it. Yeah. I mean, you just.
I handed this guy a beer, and I was like, "Dude, why aren't you drinking your beer?" And he goes, "Because I'm 19." And I went, "Yoink!" And I
Well,
was
it's
like,
funny he
"Whoops."
accepted the beer in front of him and didn't he probably
Such
wanted
a
he wanted to look
very
cool.
polite
Yeah,
Minnesota
exactly,
kid.
yeah.
Like,
I won't drink it, but
I don't
want to
cause
sit
any
there.
problems here, so I'm good.
God damn, dude. Yeah, because legitimately, you could be 20.
Oh, yeah.
You could be.
No, I know.
You could be 40.
I have a timeless face.
You could be 40. Yes. Well, for now.
Yeah. Wow.
You're like, you know what? You guys, gingers, you
Yeah.
might be black.
Oh yeah. They don't age.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Here's the phrase: "Is black don't crack until it does."
Yeah.
Because then that shit shatters and goes downhill immediately.
Gingers.
Oh,
And I'm
boy.
saying that
Poor
because
gingers.
I have countless black friends. I'm not that guy who's I have several black friends. No, I got 3 black friends. No. I lost count of my black friends by the time I was like 17 years old, bro. I live in a black neighborhood. I know all my fucking neighbors, dog.
Yeah.
And that's the phrase they say.
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
They go like this. Yeah. Black don't crack until it does, and then that shit shatters, bro. And we go downhill real quick. And when they said that shit to me, I started giggling, and I was that stoned fucking dude because they smoked me out. Dude, I thought I smoked weed.
You thought you could hang.
I thought I smoked weed until every dude in the room, there were 7 of us, until every guy rolled and lit a blunt.
Yeah.
Which I rolled them all because I was like, I'm going to roll you the best blunt of all time. And they all agreed because I'm a great roller. However, I didn't know that once that happens, nobody's allowed to leave until all of them have been smoked by everybody. So, and there's also no being like, I'm good. Pass it on. I got so fucking high, you guys. I felt drunk.
Yeah.
I came home stumbling and giggling like a 19-year-old who got drunk for the first time.
Yeah.
Like a 180-pound tiny kid who... Wait, I'm 180 pounds.
No, that's not a tiny kid. That's a rather large kid. That'd be a big old boy.
Tough boy.
He's just big boned. He's husky.
140-pound kid, 19 years old, 5'10", just gangly, and did 8 shots of Patron for his first drunk.
Yeah.
That's how I came home, and I just smoked pot.
For real.
Bro.
It must have been good weed, too.
They well, a lot of it was mine, actually, but that's not
kudos
really
to
the
you,
point.
man. Hell
But
yeah.
that's not, well, we're neighbors. Like, we're all hanging out. We're being men, right?
neighborly.
Like,
Absolutely.
like, I drink, they smoke. I was like, I can hang. Bro, I did hang. Barely.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It was something else. And what I'm getting at is that's how they refer. That's how they talk about that black don't crack shit. They're like, yeah, black don't crack until it fucking does.
Right.
And it's true. Sometimes you gingers, you motherfuckers, dude, you'll be 50 years old and you look 25.
Yeah.
And then guess what? At 52, you look 70. That's the fucking point, dude.
Yeah.
Like, once it happens, look at Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Like, she was ageless.
Is she a ginger?
Oh.
I thought she was blonde.
Bud.
Nah.
She's like one of the most famous gingers.
Really?
She's
Yeah.
the
God, I don't even know
ginger.
my own people. What the fuck?
Yeah, right?
Who's a more
I gotta do
famous
some more
ginger than
research.
Nicole Kidman?
Tom York.
Jason, pull this up. Who's
Tom
the
York,
most famous
Radiohead.
ginger? Who just did that?
More famous than
Who made that noise?
me.
Did
Sorry,
you
yeah,
really?
sorry.
Dude, it was like a search win off. It was like a
Use it like a
bubble.
drop. You can use it for a drop.
Well, you guys got iPhones?
The
or
way
what?
you did it though, it was like, who's the most famous ginger? Siri has already heard it and is calculating the response.
AI, help me out
That's
now.
what my brain does when you ask questions.
Lucille Ball.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Rita Hayworth. Okay,
Amy
I buy
Adams,
it.
Interesting.
Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption is what that book is actually named, and then Amy Adams, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Gosh, and not even
I actually
Nicole
don't know
Kidman
those
isn't even on the
last
top
two.
3 for that. That's amazing.
That's insane. That's insane.
There's
Ed
Ron.
Sheeran too. Not
As
even,
musicians,
No,
we
that's
got to throw in
Ron.
Haley Williams.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
God, she's
interesting.
prolific, man.
Oh,
As a
yeah.
female vocalist, dude, there's let's talk about this just for a brief moment. As men, how easy or hard is it to truly resonate, like in your heart, in your soul? How hard is it to resonate with a female vocalist singing about her problems and her issues? Because for me, it's pretty fucking easy because I don't listen to lyrics. Even
yeah.
as a
Yeah.
former vocalist,
That's how
I
I
don't
am
give
too.
a fuck
Same.
about
I
what
listen
you're
to the
saying.
melody,
Same.
I
All
listen
I
to
care
chord
about is the
progression.
tone of your voice
Yeah, same.
and the notes you're hitting
Yep.
and the rhythm
Completely
you're
agree with
hitting
you.
them in.
Completely agree.
And when you go with tone to these, and this day, it's like for me, it's so easy to tell when someone's using their real voice versus something they're leaning on.
Oh my
so you
God,
take
yeah.
like a Haley. I mean,
The
that's-
cursive singing that we were
Yeah,
talking about.
exactly.
Right, you know?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I can send you a link of it because I saw.
Cursive singing?
No, just cursive. Like
Cursive
he's singing
sing-
in cursive and the like. What is the character? You know what I'm talking about?
Like I
You
told
mean like,
you, say you know, you're
You're
trying to do,
singing with an accent.
yeah,
You're trying
that
to sound
stupid
a certain
accent
way.
too. It's so stupid. Like,
and it's so
I
repeated.
know
It's like
exactly
it's a
what you're
crutch. It's honestly a crutch
How can we
because
describe this for people who don't know exactly what we're talking about?
I wish I had an
Singing,
example.
okay,
you said,
maybe you know what
said
I'm talking about.
cursive singing.
Yeah.
I'm
here's
saying singing with an accent.
Here's my best example because growing up in our era, it started with Lane Staley and then everybody ripped him off and it became the.
that's not cursive, though.
No, but it's
Lane's-
a version though
you're
where
pissing me
everybody
off.
leaned on that
I
though.
love Alice in Chains so much.
So do I, but
get
everybody
you, though.
ripped off
the
his
Eddie
voice.
the Eddie Vedder thing.
Yep, and then everybody started ripping off that voice because
Scott Stepp.
well, that's the best example of it. Because honestly, if you take a male range it's a lot easier to bend or hide
Vocalist,
behind
what
that.
do you think of this?
So
let's hear from the vocalist.
we should, but I mean, Shan's on a different level because he's bringing like a screaming thing, and then he's definitely kind of got his own voice when he's singing. Which is, again, it's like one of my favorite things is just someone has
But
their
how
own
would
voice.
you describe what we're talking about? Because all we're doing is trying to name something that hasn't actually been named yet. You said cursive singing.
Yeah, that's
a good way to put it.
I say singing with an accent. What would you call it if you just made up your own term right now, live on the podcast?
Honestly, I would still go with cursive singing.
No
It's-
shit. Okay.
it's-
Okay.
It fits.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
does. Especially what's going on modern, like right now,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Because singing with an accent might be a little too literal, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're trying to sound British?
Yeah,
no,
it's not
I'm-
like a language accent.
There's this chick online who makes fun of female vocalists,
It's probably exactly what we're talking about.
and
Yeah.
she does this one where she's like impersonating Katy Perry.
Yep,
who
yep, I know exactly what you're
overpronounced
talking
the,
about,
The
yeah.
hard R's.
You're like an Indian summer. That whole shit.
Summer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she
That's
laughs.
huge.
She laughs at
I've
the end of
watched
it. And she
that.
goes, "What the fuck?"
Dude, I've
Right,
watched like
right.
like probably like 100 people on TikTok like impersonate that like
Yeah.
little like verse.
I
It's
think
so
you might
funny.
be right. I think you might
It's
be
so
right. Singing
funny.
in cursive might be more accurate because
Because an accent
cursive
is
could be like a style, whereas an accent is like very like, oh, you're trying to sound British, you're trying to sound American, you're trying to
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
Indian, you know.
well, even that is like you could punch that in any different time and it could be its own thing. Whereas like this cursive thing will become, people will know that was like you were between 2012 and 2026 or something. It's like
Yeah.
there'll be a
Yeah,
it's like having granite
Hopefully it
countertops or
dies
something.
before 2026 happens, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
right. Yeah, exactly. Let's call it 2025 for hopeful.
Best laid plans, you know.
Yeah, but it's I definitely think you're gonna be able to timestamp certain vocalists to like that kind of sound, just like you.
Yeah, we
I think
get
you
that.
can with that Lane Staley thing too.
No, we
I mean,
get
it's-
that. We already get that.
right,
And
yeah.
it's going to be an uphill battle for us. Like my singer does two things as well as all the people who did it when they did it. Right? My singer is awesome.
yeah.
Right. And I'm talking about the Montoya machine that we're playing with, but that same dude is singing for my project that you also
cool.
heard. That's
Yeah.
the same guy.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't sound like the same guy until
Wow.
you know it's the same guy. And then you're like, oh, that's the same guy.
That's cool.
But
That's a good trait to
he's
have.
really impressive. But when people hear the Montoya machine, we're already getting that. Oh,
Yeah.
it's late 90s, which is cool because that's what Jeremy said he wanted to do. He
Yeah.
goes, I want to do a high octane late 90s rock and roll
and that
project.
that is very popular. It's so cool to see like when like decades come back and like styles could be clothing, art, music, whatever it is, and like 90s and even early 2000s is really hot right now. Not to be like Zoolander or whatever, but like it's like
so hot right
it's
now.
so hot right now, and I love that because it's like I love that music and it's what I grew up, being a child. I was born in 1990. And hearing that shit come back in a real way is like, it's the best. And I honestly, like, back to our band and everything, a lot of the music that I try to write is reminiscent of that, but like trying to blend that with like, the modern take here in 2025.
It's really kind of wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And it started, I think, in about the late 2000s, right? Before 2010, before 2012, somewhere around 2006 to 2010, it became a wide open chaos field of music.
Yeah.
And it did two things. It did two things.
Trying to compete with
Now-
EDM.
Now, this is no longer true. What I'm about to say is not real anymore. But this was true. When this originally happened, it filtered out the shitty musicians. You couldn't convince us this was good anymore.
Yeah.
Because we could listen to what we wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So no, you suck. Get out of the pop world. Your lip sync at your concerts, fuck all the way off.
Yep.
I'm looking for this. I can just search and this gave birth to entire genres like metalcore.
Yeah.
Right? Which you guys heard a little bit of that for sure
Yeah.
in my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It
I was
reminded
a
you of that,
devout
which is
fan.
interesting because that's definitely, and this is both good and bad. Kind of pissed me off a little bit, but good on you for pissing me off because it reminded me about something important. Is my producer was from that era. That's his influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The riffs are not from 2008. My guitar playing, my songwriting is not from 2008. Everything I pulled is from the 80s. He made it sound like 2008 because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, again, reminder. This happened moments before the podcast. And it was like, you know, when you flick a puppy,
Yeah.
you don't want to smack him, so you just kind of flick him in the forehead. You know? You're just like, hey, listen. That's kind of what you guys did to me. I was like, oh, production. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
Reminder.
very
Yeah.
important.
That's why
Has
picking a producer matters.
Yep.
Because they can
Has-
take your
has a
music
huge-
and make it
Oh my God,
sound
and yeah.
from this
And
thing.
shout out
yeah,
to
shout
our
out to
guy.
Zach.
Shout out fucking Zach.
So who
Zach.
produced your record? Zach.
Hollander from the Pearl Recording Studios here in Northeast.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you guys.
He's
Let's
the best.
let's
do that.
pivot and get back to you guys more
Oh, yeah.
specifically. You know, we're kind of talking about
That's with the conversation's good, so
Us.
you know.
But I want to make sure that you guys get your just
yeah.
due, because
There you
I
go.
don't think I'm going to have the luxury of having all three of you guys on the podcast again very soon. So I want to take advantage of this opportunity. So you guys started this band recently in the last 5 years.
Yep.
You said.
Yeah, I think it was New Year's Eve. This is actually a pretty good story. New Year's Eve. It was 2021. I'm pretty sure,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of coming off the pandemic.
2021.
2021.
So still technically pandemic.
yeah,
it was- It
exactly.
was strange.
So I've known Shannon online.
That's where the best shit came from recently.
I've known him online
You
for
really
like
did.
I don't know
Yep.
since I was like 19 or
Dude,
20 or
since
something.
MySpace
Since
days.
MySpace, yeah. And
But not
I thought
personally.
about that when I was like coming
Yeah.
here
But
today.
not
It was like
personally.
no, not personally at all.
no.
Just
No
online,
shit.
and I was like, this guy's a really good
Vibes.
drummer. Like, and
On
I see him,
MySpace,
you know,
of all
in
things.
every band that he's been in. And then it was a New Year's Eve party, 2021, and his band was playing in the basement of this house. And after they played, I was like, can I jam with you guys? Because I just wanted to
Dude,
like
'cause
fucking
I s-
jam with them.
Yeah, because I
They
saw
sounded
you
so
across,
good.
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw
And then
you
we were
across
like,
the house.
we're
I'm like, hey, I know you.
Yeah, I know you. I know you
It's
from
great.
the MySpace days, which is
Yeah.
like crazy because at that point, I think that's like at, let's see, how old was I? 2021. I was
I didn't even know
31
MySpace was on,
years
like,
old,
around still at that
and
point.
I got a MySpace on like when I was 19. So that's like what 12 years. Yeah.
dude.
So
Long
12
time.
years of
Long
online kind of just knowing this person and like, you know, not really, we never interacted in reality. And then I happen to be at this house party. He happens to be at this house party playing the show with his band. And I just fucking loved everything that they were doing. And I was like, I told his then guitar player, like, can I just borrow you a guitar for, you know, after the set and just jam with you guys? And our second guitar player was playing bass that night.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
it was like the three of us doing shit and just like,
it was
we
so
didn't talk
cool.
about anything. We just played music. I didn't have to say a word to either of them,
And
it
you're
just
at a
happened.
house party because
It
it's
just-
the tail end of the pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I've-
venues
so-
aren't
yeah.
doing good shit right now.
Joey was jamming.
Joey was
that
playing
night,
bass,
too?
yeah, because he
Oh,
was
that's-
playing bass
so
in.
cool. I just
in-
thought it was
in the
you guys
letters,
from that.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was the three of us. We didn't have to say a word to each other. Like
Nah,
there was no
dude.
like, here's what key I'm in, here's what I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
He just started playing a drum beat. I just started playing guitar, and then Joey started playing a bass line, and it was like it just happened. And that's probably the only point in my life where like an intro jam with any amount of musicians just happens so organically. And that's when I knew it's just like we have something special here. Like this is like the possibilities when you have that connection with somebody musically. Obviously, like technicality is important because we're like able to just do shit, you know, and we don't have to talk about it. But having that happen right there and then was like, this is gonna go really far. And like ever since then, it's just like music just happens. It's not like we have to like discuss it or like whatever. It'll just be like, you know, everybody's warming up at practice. I'll play a riff, Shannon catches on to it, and he's like, oh, this sounds good. And he gets his phone out and records it, you know, and we
Right.
just do it. And like that's I think that's like one of the most important parts about our writing process, that it just happens.
Yeah,
It's
and
not-
the communication that does happen is like, hey,
It's mental. I swear to God,
No,
it's like
dude.
it's like
No.
mental that we don't even
Give
have
us
to
a
talk
little-
about. We're just like
right
on the same
here.
page.
It's like
it's just those rare moments that you actually need to talk about when that chemistry happens. It's, hey, in this transition, don't do
Exactly.
boom, boom, boom.
Yes,
do
exactly.
boom, boom, boom.
But it's like having
And
that- having that
that'll
spark.
give us the edge to transition into this thing.
Yeah, having that spark that just happens, and then we work out the details
Sometimes,
afterward.
yeah. Sometimes
you-
the
you-
drummer just does the thing,
Oh, yeah.
and then everybody grabs onto it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the guitar player hits a little meow meow meow, and then you're like, oh, hey, we should hold on,
Yeah,
wait a
he'll
minute.
catch that
Yeah.
all the
Those
time.
are the chemistry level that you're talking about is almost like how my wife describes an old married couple that she fears and
Oh, yeah.
I hope for,
Oh yeah.
which is the wife goes to pour the coffee and the old man is reading the paper and he just goes like this and he just holds his hand over his cup and then just keeps reading his paper
Yeah.
and they just move.
Just
they
so
have
in sync
developed
like
a
that.
chemistry
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
like we do not need verbal communication to exactly understand what the other person is thinking. My wife fears
Isn't that
that.
like the pinnacle
I
of
covet
like human
that.
civilization
I covet that.
too?
That's-
Like I fucking hate like just yapping about bullshit. It's like what's the point? You know.
I mean, we're talking
as
like,
we're on
this
a
is
podcast
military
now.
shit. I look at you and I go, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you."
Yeah.
Okay, now you know I'm looking at you, and I go, "You, one other person, both of you go that way."
Yeah. It's
You know what I
interesting you're
mean?
saying that to him because
And
you know
and
he's-
be armed,
Yep.
be ready to shoot,
yeah.
kill.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Right? That shit is nonverbal communication is so powerful. And then when you can even do it non-visually, just by instincts. I always joke about this. One of my favorite drummers by today's standards is the shittiest drummer I've ever played with. What I mean by that is we were 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his instincts on what part to play
Yeah.
were almost always exactly what I heard in my head
Yeah.
when I wrote the riff.
For sure. Yeah.
Like even
And
if
it
he
was
wasn't
just like-
technically proficient, he
Exactly.
had. Yeah. He
That's-
knew
Like
where
there
to
was
go.
times where it was like
Exactly.
there's a triplet here and an open hi-hat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
just
he
knew.
did that in that spot. And I'm like, bro, get out of my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
the
That
shit that
kinda
like
shit.
it puts a smile on my face that I can't get rid of. You know.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
just
I'm-
it's
yeah.
just so like, and that's
It
you
sounds
know,
like that's what you guys kind of...
we
Well,
do. Yeah.
it's fun. I like
It sounds
how-
like you had it naturally and also fostered it and further developed.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely,
And that's what, like
absolutely.
I enjoy telling this story just because I've witnessed it at least a couple of times, but it somehow transcends even the nonverbal stuff because like when Shannon hears a song and he tries to express it, sometimes it's not to the average person. You would think that that's not tones coming out of his mouth. Like I've watched him just be like, and Mike's like,
Oh yeah, I got that.
yeah,
Yep.
you know, and everyone else is
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, you know? Then all of a sudden, Mike's just like, yep, and you know, I mean, that's basically how Urgent Care got wrote.
Yeah,
Then I was
Urgent
just
Care.
came back to
I
the bathroom
literally-
mumbling
God.
some stuff,
Yeah.
and I started
I was-
laughing because I was like, "What
And
are
I was
you
like,
doing,
oh, yeah,
dude?" And
I
then
got
Mike,
you, I got
Mike
you.
took out,
I know
Mike goes,
exactly
"I
what
got
you're
you,
talking
dude." Next thing you know, I mean,
And that's like probably one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs that we've
No,
ever written
seriously.
so far. Like it's
and that's not a one.
I hate
that's
to
gonna
my
happen more than
own
once.
horn, but like that one's really good. That one's gonna like do numbers. Like it's.
But it was so funny to watch
good.
that come together because it was legitimately just Shannon,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
no,
you were
seriously,
like,
dude.
"Oh, I got you,
It was
dude."
great.
And then the next thing you know,
And that's honestly how it's been from the start.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
like Shannon plays guitar, like I'm not gonna lie, you know, somewhat amateurly
Yeah,
and stuff,
it's all
but
right.
he like
It gets
knows
the point
he
across.
gets the point across, and he
you're
knows
my
what he's
Jeremy
doing.
in this
that's the
scenario.
same
We're-
thing. He'll like
He knows
Jeremy
what
can
he's
barely
doing,
play guitar,
and then
but
I can-
Jeremy will write banger riffs.
Yeah, and then I can translate that.
Accidentally,
I can
yeah.
get his feeling and what he's trying to come across,
Oh, so
and then
very
make it
similar to what we
happen.
have then.
Yeah.
You know, and
So
it's,
you're
dude.
Jeremy and you're Maddie.
Mhm.
Yep, Matt. Because Maddie, dude, Maddie will take Jeremy's. Okay, so here's how it works in our band. It sounds identical,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is Jeremy creates a rudimentary but brilliant fucking idea, and then and sometimes it involves programmed drums, sometimes it doesn't, and then he brings that to Wally. Now, in our situation, what Wally does, and this is before I ever got involved, so this isn't accurate today. This is how it started. They use AI drums. And Wally can go in and MIDI it and move shit
Yeah.
and be like, no, that's not right.
Yeah,
like, we're
yeah.
gonna do this, right? So he gets okay. Now we have something to work with. And Jeremy and Wally will sit there and fuck around with those guitars until they get them to sound good.
Mhm.
And then they write their vocals and they make a beautiful song and it sounds amazing. But then when Maddie, my guitar player, gets his hands on it, this motherfucker, dude, turns it into poetry.
yeah.
that's our
This
that's
is
our Maddie.
now. I feel like I explained an elongated version of what you guys just explained.
Hmm.
Like you come up with a brilliant idea, guitar and or drums.
Yeah.
or just clicks and
Or-
beeps.
or, yeah, or just,
Right,
or
it's just a vibe.
like,
It's a vibe, right?
You got the
Yeah,
beeps,
no,
the
seriously.
sweeps, and the creeps.
It's a
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
It's a vibe. And then the poets take over.
Yeah, and then I'm like, hey Mike, let's flush this out.
Yeah,
And then-
absolutely. And
then-
he's good at giving me feedback too, you know, because sometimes, like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie, I don't get it 100% right
Yeah.
every time, but like we're able to have that communication and there's no ego involved. Shout out to our first album, Kill Your Ego.
Yep.
It's just that's what it's all about. It's like
So interesting.
don't be like, oh, like this is my part and I'm so
No.
like pissed that like you didn't like my original idea. It's like
Serve the
I
song.
don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Serve the
Yeah,
song,
dude.
and we're all trying to get to the same point, you know. And
There's
that's what
this
you have
one
to keep.
Phil.
That's what you have to keep in your mind is that we're all trying to get to the same point, which is try to get as many people to like the shit as possible, and whatever. And it, you know, also stay true to your music and everything that you like, but like get to that point because that's how we progress. That's how we get bigger shows, you know, get more people listening to our music and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about for me is like, I want to be able to express my, this is going to sound really emo, but like express my emotions to like everybody. I feel like music is emotions amplified. And I think it's
Yes.
like some of the last bit of magic in this world is being able to
I want to
make
amend
somebody
that.
feel like something listening to your music. And it's the same thing with like visual art is like somebody looks at a painting and they feel something from that. That's magic to me.
Yep.
It still exists in this world, even though we're so like technological and like everybody knows everything because you can just Google it. But like there's a little bit of magic left, and that's part of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I got to amend the first thing, which is music. I believe purely definitionally is the organization of sound and silence.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Now, the
math, kind of like at
expression
its
of that-
base roots.
Now that expression of that is what you said,
Mhm. Yep.
which is your passion, your emotionality
Yeah.
behind things, and specifically through your suffering.
Yeah,
and your
absolutely.
enlightenment.
Yeah,
And,
that's why I like
and
minor
your
chord
joy.
shit.
So my buddy asked me a question. He said, "Do you think?" Oh, here's what I want to know. This is what he said. If AI is able to create music indistinguishable from something that a human created, is it still art?
Yeah.
My answer is absolutely not. And the reason for it is because it can't be inspired by my joy, my suffering, my
Mhm.
enlightenment,
Good point.
or any of the
Yeah.
other things that inspire a human being to create art.
Absolutely. And
You're
it's got 6
creating
fingers.
music, but that is no longer art,
Yeah.
based on literally the seed of what
Mhm.
you said.
And I think like the stupidest thing, like
Now, what do
A-
you guys think, though? Argue with it. I mean, if you
AI
got a,
has
if you
so
got a
many
different
uses,
direction,
and it's super ironic because
don't agree with me because it's my podcast.
the corporation that I
That's-
work
I'm not
for
trying
right
to do
now
that.
is doing a big push
Tell
for
me I'm
AI,
wrong.
so I'm like extremely involved in like learning about it and everything. But I think the stupidest use of it is art. Like that's what humans should be doing, you know?
Yeah.
Correct.
I want AI to solve the problems that are so
It's
mundane
profiteering,
and
yes.
just like
It's lazy
basic
profiteering.
and everything that like it makes sense for AI to do that. It does not make sense for AI to make art. That's
Yeah.
what humans are good at. We
Right.
like why would we not want to express ourselves
Right.
in profound ways
'Cause
and
here's
like
the-
let a computer
Here's what
do
we're
it?
really talking about. We're not talking about creating songs.
Mm.
Anybody can create songs.
Right.
I could mathematically write down songs.
Yeah.
In fact, if I study a genre, and this is what AI does,
Yeah.
I could do this. If I study a genre, if I study chord progressions between hit songs,
Mhm.
I can put together a 4-chord banger that will absolutely tickle all the facilities.
Yep.
That's not art. You know what real art is? Creating a genre.
Mhm.
Bob Marley creating reggae.
Yep.
Jimi Hendrix creating a sound.
Mhm.
Let's get super shallow with it
I don't
for
know
a
if you
minute.
saw my Hendrix.
Let's get super shallow for a moment.
This
Let's
is
get
one of my,
super shallow.
One of my main guys right here. He's the reason I
Oh,
started
you
playing
got
guitar.
Jimmy on your
I
arm.
do.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got
when
Jimmy-
you
okay.
mentioned it, I had to show you.
Let's get super shallow for a moment. Somebody might be dumb enough to say Limp Bizkit created a sound. If you're smart enough, you go, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
They just did Faith No More 15 years later.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
like,
In the lens of what was
let's be
popular,
honest.
right? Yeah. That's
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They just did because Faith No More was ahead of their time.
Oh god, yeah.
Damn straight.
That's the facts. That's
Straight
the
up.
facts, dude. Faith
Absolutely.
No More is ahead of their time. Mike Patton, maybe the
Genius.
single most creative genius ever.
He's
Like
genius.
I will legitimate. I always forget about Mike Patton.
Yeah, a lot of
But
people
he
do.
came up recently on a podcast, and I've been thinking about him and listening to his music more and more. I will make the argument. I will. I don't know if I'll die on this hill.
Will you heed the argument?
I
No, I guess
will-
that's for us. We will heed the argument.
I will make the argument. I will make the argument. I will make a band name reference. I promise you. By the end of this, I will work it in.
Hell yeah.
I swear to God, it's gonna
Absolutely.
happen, dude.
I believe
Listen
in
to
you.
me. Listen to me.
He
Oh, it's already about to. It's already about to happen. You son of a. No, it was too easy. That was too easy. That was too easy. I will make the argument that Mike Patton is greater than Prince, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. I absolutely can make that argument.
Yeah.
Because, and here's I want to hear your opinion. Specifically, I want to hear his opinion.
Yeah.
As a vocalist, I want to hear your opinion. And do not agree with me because it's my podcast. Please, that makes shitty podcasting.
Agreed.
If you tell me I'm an idiot and then make a compelling case, that's the best thing that could ever happen to my podcast. Tell me I'm wrong. Here's why I think Mike Patton should be argued on those two people's levels. When you listen to his cover, is it Sunday or Sunday Morning by Lionel Richie?
Oh, man,
Or
I don't know
Easy.
if I-
It's called
I-
Easy.
Easy like
song's called
Sunday
Easy.
morning.
When
When
Yeah, I
you
know what
listen
you're
to
talking
when you listen to Mike Patton's version of Easy
Never heard.
versus the original Lionel Richie version, I won't die on this hill, but I will say that not only is it better than the original, but that basically sums up why he should be in those arguments. Is when you can take one of the greatest R&B artists of all time and do their own song better than them, you should have some level of credibility into the immediate GOAT conversation. And everybody, including me, grab me one too. Everyone regularly sleeps on Mike Patton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he's he's got Mr. Bungle, he's got all these other things, and then still doing that. It's
And,
like,
then, and then he does Easy by Lionel Richie.
yeah, right.
And
Which is not easy.
smacks the fuck, dude. Grand Slam
Somewhat
version of a cover.
difficult
You know
Sunday
how
morning.
good. You know how good Easy is. Here's the closest cover of all time. The closest cover of all time.
So
that
easy to
could
make
be-
him laugh.
I don't know what you guys are giggling about.
No,
You
it's
shared
just
something on the
I'm
phone.
just it's
This
so
is
easy
like
to
when we
make
do
him
all
laugh.
Everybody's got
I
their
love-
phones on and it's pissing me off.
Sorry,
I-
I'm just trying to look
I was
up an
just checking
album.
my story
Do your thing,
replies
do your
because
thing.
I was
Phone
posting
free the whole time.
posting the link. Yeah.
Or ask
Nice
Jason
job,
to
buddy.
do it. Or
Okay.
ask
You get the
Jason
gold
to do it.
star.
Phone free the whole time.
But Johnny Cash's version of Hurt
Oh my god,
dude.
that's
better than the original.
honestly
absolutely.
one of
Which,
like my favorite Johnny Cash
like I
song
said,
ever.
Immediately puts you
Puts
in
him
the
in a whole
GOAT
other level.
conversation.
Yes, right.
It's just like Hendrix's
That's a
All
good
Along
way
the
to put it.
Watchtower cover.
You think about the way that not that he wasn't already, but the way that Johnny Cash took some of those covers and just totally took his career in a different
Torch.
Yeah,
direction.
it revitalized.
That's
Brought a
That was
whole
all. That
bunch
was
of
all
people
Rick
in.
Rubin. Rick Rubin made that happen.
That's true.
which,
That's
you
a
know,
Rick Rubin record.
Just
Yes,
an
you are
incredible
correct.
producer.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know.
And Johnny Cash apparently called him and said, "If you don't do this, I'll die." No, I swear
Probably-
to God,
probably
I just
true.
heard this. I just
Yeah.
heard this in an
Yeah.
interview.
Especially by the time they got to those last records, he was just like, "This is the only guy I trust in the world." You know,
he's
it's
like,
just-
"Listen to me. I need to do this, and if you don't do this, I'm gonna die." And Rick Rubin was like, "Okay."
it's a compelling argument.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want
you guys
Johnny
pull that
Cash
on me,
to
I'll do
die.
it.
I'll mercy produce you.
Yeah, right.
All mercy produced you.
I don't want to be on
But,
Wikipedia as the one
it's-
that killed Johnny
okay,
Cash.
what were you looking up? Did you find it?
One of Mike Patton's solo albums, "Music to Make Love."
Stay
Music
close to
to
that mic.
Music to Make Love to Your
Oh,
Old
yeah.
Lady by.
Yeah.
Like
Look this up,
that
Jason.
album
Pull it up on the screen.
is like, oh, dude, it is.
Music to Make Love to Mike Patton. Just hit
dude.
enter. It'll
oh,
pull
it's,
it up.
it's insane.
And just at least show
it's
it on
insane.
the screen.
I love it. That's like one of my favorite albums, just hands down.
That's what Easy's on, right? It has to be. Why would you ever record a cover of Easy if it's not on a record called Music to Make Love to Your Wife To?
Dude, there it is. Yeah.
I mean, depending on how old you
Yeah,
are,
like
could
look
be-
at that album
could be
cover. It's
pretty
just like,
difficult,
dude,
but-
fuck yeah.
Yeah, look at that album cover. That is
That lavage, that's
And dude, it's great.
that's
Badass.
absolutely amazing.
Front to back.
So what are you guys giggling about, by the way? You guys are over there chuckling. on
That
your
specific
little-
one we can't talk
can't-
about at the moment.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
you
It's
did
just,
it.
we'll tell you
No,
offline.
it's a little, a little bit of an
Little too
inside joke.
Too inside.
All right, tell
We'll tell you
us
when
when
the
we're-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a funny
yeah,
one. We'll
yeah.
tell you for sure. But
that will not be on the Patreon.
But when
Yeah.
you talk about
Just so you guys know.
a good hang, these guys are good hang. That's kind of
Absolutely.
We
yeah.
just-
I feel like these are my brothers. Like for real, I've never like in a band that I've been in, I've never felt like so close to people
Yeah,
before.
likewise.
Like it's just
we
it's.
have a great time. That's what like you said.
yeah.
We
But
added
I'll be
Joey
stuck.
too.
I'll
It's
be
like-
stuck in a fucking van with them for like I don't know. Our last shit was like how much van time do we have? Like
Dude,
20 hours maybe.
So much van
and it's like
time.
it's
For,
fun.
like,
It's fun the entire time.
Yeah.
It's
even
like
if,
I'm-
it sucks, it's
and
still
sometimes I'm annoyed at like person A and person B or whatever,
Sure,
but it
right.
like doesn't fucking matter because I'm still having the time of my life doing
exactly.
Yeah, someone else cracks a joke and you're just like, whatever. I'm back in.
it. Shannon
guys
says shut up,
have,
Mike a lot, which is fine.
Do you guys have? I don't know the way to describe it. I call it verses, right? So
Oh,
I have
shit.
verses to my personality, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So when I'm on the road, believe it or not, I don't fucking talk a lot.
Mhm.
But I swear to God, anybody
I talk
that
way
knows
more.
me in my real life will be like, "There's no way that's true."
Mhm.
That's
There's
kind of like
zero.
that.
There's
You're a
zero
podcast host, of course you talk a lot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And anybody who hangs out with me and we get drunk and do a cookout in the backyard, I
Yeah.
can't shut the fuck up.
Right.
But I swear to God, when I go on the road, I talk very little.
Yeah.
Like, and here's why. Because when I was a little kid, we traveled a lot. So in order for me to like handle that as a little kid,
Yeah.
I had to get into crossword puzzles, music, Walkmans, fucking
Game Boy?
something
Yeah.
Yep.
to zone out.
My
So I
dad used to
didn't-
tell me
I
not
had
to play
figure out a
Game
way to
Boy.
not need
Look
other
at the,
people
look at
or
the outside,
attention.
Michael. Stop playing Pokemon,
Right?
you idiot.
So when I go on tour to this day,
Yeah.
I still will absolutely, even if it's just looking out the window, I'll just go into like a weird state.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I'll go like
I kind of do
12
that too.
hours without speaking.
I kind of, because I'm real talkative, and I think I kind of do that too. I mean, like, Joey's an unbelievable storyteller. I mean, he'll just go and go
he's-
and
yeah.
go.
Oh, yeah.
you
And it's
know?
always
Joey's your
like
drummer?
it's always
Guitarist, yeah.
it's
Soundgarden
always
guitarist.
funny as shit too.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
guy is like a charismatic, funny.
He's just the best, yeah.
dude.
So you just let it. He'll just go off, and I mean, our drummer switch too will just sometimes he's just going off, and
It's me.
yeah, he gets stuck with something. But that's the thing. I mean, usually, if I'll fill a lot of space with words,
Oh,
but
shit.
I'll just sit there in silence a lot too, because it's like
You're just letting things happen,
yeah,
you know.
these guys
But
are
when
so
you
funny.
feel like the need to like like say something, it's like it just happens, and like it's funny because you say that, and I'm the complete opposite. I'm a very like introverted
Yeah.
individual, but you
But
get
on
me,
the road,
but
you
get
can't
me.
shut the
You
fuck
get,
up.
the thing is, you get me in front of the right amount of people, where like we
Right
get like
people.
good vibes and shit, and I'm the most like just like cracking jokes, like talking like way more than I usually do.
Like this.
Yeah,
Like you
exact-
seem very,
exact-
like
exactly.
if
Like,
you
this
if
is-
you would have told me you're an introverted person
yeah.
based on this
I
interaction,
don't feel introverted
I would
when I'm
call
with
you
this
a
band.
liar.
I
I
totally
would
agree
call
with
you
you.
a liar.
Totally agree with
we
you,
actually talk about this
100%.
quite a bit, because he laughs. I'll say it about him, and he's like, I think you sort of, you think I'm this extroverted person, but it's just like here, it's like
Yeah.
amongst you guys and in
Right.
this
When
scenario.
it's like
but-
the people
When you're
like the
vibing.
people that I
Yeah.
give a fuck about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's plenty of situations in life when you're around people
When
that
you feel
don't give a
respected.
shit about,
You
and
feel
it's like then
respected.
I'm quiet. But yeah, exactly. It's
like
like
you,
a respect
like you know
thing.
you're
Yeah.
cool.
We
like,
vibe with everybody, and yeah.
and I wonder if this has something to do with it, because I've thought about this a little bit too, like, because this band,
because that's the point. You know you're cool.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
You know you're cool.
Yeah.
And you're in
I'm
a
doing
group
the
of
damn
people
thing.
who aren't fucking making you feel like shit or feeling intimidated.
100%.
Yeah.
That's
and you're
yes.
just like, this
Yes.
is my vibe, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the
Yeah,
band started in
we'll
2021.
get to Chet. Leave that up, but we'll get to it.
Well, we
Just
started in
tell your
2021.
story.
Oh damn! There's people.
No,
chilling.
don't distract him.
That's
Let him
awesome.
tell.
No,
let
my
him-
girlfriend.
let-
My girlfriend
No,
like
no,
commented
Mike,
on it.
no,
I
no,
love
let
that.
him
Hey,
finish
it's
his
okay.
point.
It's okay. I'm
No, no,
just
no, we'll
shout
get
out
to
to
Chet.
Rhiannon.
I promise
I
we'll get
love
to
Shout out
her.
to Rhiannon.
I love her a lot.
Finish what you were gonna say.
Rainbow Raver there.
The only
Oh, yeah.
Stop
I
looking
love
at
that.
chat.
Sorry, I'll
stop
stop.
looking at chat.
Just let me enjoy my moment,
Mike's a
dude. Come on.
multitasker. Mike's a multitasker.
We'll get to your
you know,
moment. I
it's so-
promise.
All right,
But let him
right.
finish what
No,
he was
I
going
was
to say.
just gonna say is just that, like, I wonder if there's something to do to some degree with that. Like, the band was started in 2021. I think I joined in 2022. I mean, we spent a ton of time like working before we ever went out in the public and did anything. I mean, we just spent so much time,
so much
confined space
rehearsal.
together,
Yeah.
with not even necessarily a ton of thought about like what exactly it was going to be. So I don't know. We just like developed a friendship and a relationship. I feel like, before
Naturally.
almost everything.
Naturally
so.
and without any pressure.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
That's the other thing. I think there's a little bit of that to our advantage. I mean, we are also. It's like it's not year 1. This is like year 5. So
Yeah.
we've done a lot together. We've been
But
through
it's
a
like-
lot.
it's
Even when you
like-
think about like just all the shit we've been through before, even playing shows and stuff. I mean, it's like we
Yeah.
had to really.
It's like
figure some stuff out.
cooking anything on a low temperature for longer as opposed to like a high temperature shorter.
Yep.
And like the shit just like it tastes better,
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I want to get into chat here,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to plant a seed because
Fun.
where I want to get with is where you guys started before this band, and like
Ooh, yeah.
like previous shitty bands you were part
For
of
real. Been
that
part
you're
of a lot
very
of them.
proud of and both embarrassed by.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into chat here because there's some shit going down.
My favorite
That's
is
awesome.
my favorite is Nunya.
I'm
band
not.
Message
sucks.
retracted.
The band sucks. Never heard of them.
What is
Is that
scroll?
what you
Can
were
you scroll
giggling
up a
about
little
I
bit?
didn't know.
No.
I just saw that.
Pretty sure it's
I
something
love
else.
that stuff.
Dave Grohl. What?
Dave Grohl, the
That's a
dude that
fact.
had mistress
that
and
is-
got her pregnant.
That is
Yeah.
a fact. Nice.
Yeah,
That,
Well done.
Here's the thing. Hold on, Nunya. Hold on, Nunya.
I wish. Can you
Nunya, hold on.
unretract that message?
No. Hold on,
All right.
Nunya. I'm just gonna say this: having a mistress and getting her pregnant, even if she's 18 while you're 75, does not in any way impact how prolific of a musician you are. So I just want to make sure that we're talking about two separate things. If you're bringing up his character, cool, I get it. However, he's still dope as fuck.
Also,
I'm
prolific
just
father.
gonna say,
Prolific father.
I'm not
He's,
defending him or justifying
I do.
his
As long as
actions.
we're on the subject, and then I love
Nah,
the
he's
third
dope as
comment
fuck.
though too. The band sucks. Never heard of them.
I love that. It's like maybe try hearing him first, and then.
Yeah.
No.
Do you want to listen to our music or
Actually, Nunya should get a
Should
free
we
ticket
listen-
to our show.
did you-
Nunya, I'm buying. Come to the show.
pre-sales? Yeah,
I'm
guest
coming.
list. Guest
Dude,
list.
100%. Nunya's on my
Did
guest
you, by
list.
the way, did you double check the settings? They all seem the same.
Yeah, they all seem the same, but the two music videos, I don't know what's going on with those.
Yeah, I
but
don't
the live
understand
footage
because
is-
we set them up all the same.
Yeah.
You guys kind of watch the behind the
Oh,
scenes
yeah.
bullshit. That's the
Bullshit
fun
my
part.
ass. You guys have a good operation.
That's
It's
the
pretty
fun
impressive.
part of the podcast. The fun part of copy this code, paste it here, do this.
I
It's
would've-
the rigmarole
we didn't know
that
none of
will
that.
fucking make me pull out my which is why I hired them because I was like, I can't do this.
I hear
anymore.
you.
This
Yeah, it
sucks.
takes you out of your mindset of being like the host and
I'm
everything.
trying to hang out with the boys and get drunk and have fun and fucking
Absolutely.
vibe,
I
dude.
think we were touching on this earlier, but it is very interesting too. I mean, we're going through a bit of this too. It's like like we have a stage manager for the show on Friday. It's like you start to realize that like to do something special, you do have to compartmentalize these things, and certain
Yeah.
people have to have
You gotta have
rules.
yeah.
And it's like it
I can't
transcends
do
to-
everything.
No, you
Dude,
can't.
that's
And you
like-
shouldn't either. You know,
to
that's
bring
like-
up Joey again, he made like a really good analogy to all this, and it's like being on a pirate ship. You know,
Yeah.
especially when
Yeah.
you're touring.
Yeah,
It's
somebody's
like,
got to hoist those fucking sails,
there's
bro.
there's a
100%.
job that everybody has, and we're
Yep.
all like in this like thing
guess
that's
who has the
traveling the
shittiest job?
concrete seas. You know,
Let's stay on this analogy.
That's a good
Guess who
question.
has
Who
the
does?
shittiest job?
maybe the drummer.
No,
the guy that
I
packs all
know
the
the
shit in the
answer to
van.
this question.
The roadie.
No, it's the fucking captain.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
captain has
yeah.
the shittiest job.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Yeah, he might get all the credit when everything goes exactly perfectly
Yeah,
and every
totally.
fucking person
Yeah.
does
Oh,
their
this is going-
exact fucking perfect job. But guess what happens? When anybody fucks up, he looks bad.
No.
If
Shit rolls
you
in.
might be the lowest guy on the totem pole, and if you drop the fucking totem pole, because you're the lowest guy, right? You're the most important, arguably. Right? You're arguably the most important person is the person who's on the lowest version of... You're the foundation. You're the offensive line of this football team.
Yeah.
When you fuck up, he looks bad.
Yeah.
When the guy
buck
above
stops
you...
here.
When the guy... Because the way I look at music, the drummer and the bass player, we are the offensive line and the tight ends. The guitar players, you guys are the wide receivers and the running backs.
Yep.
The lead singer, that's the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And we could do the same thing in reverse on defense if you're a defensive guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
If you do your job in the rhythm section, which is the drums and bass, no one should know your name.
Amen.
When people know your name, it's because you suck.
Amen.
This is football, but it
I
kind of
hear ya.
It's so
also-
true, though.
Yeah.
Or else you
Wait-
have a physical look like Flea. I mean, also an incredible bass playing,
Yeah,
talent. But it's like,
that's the exception to the rule.
but it's an
more rare.
outward thing. He is so much more of an outward thing that's
He's
created.
a front man at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. But through a variety of things, an iconic look, an iconic style, iconic stage presence.
Yeah.
I'm totally downplaying his skills. I mean, I'll just transcend a
No,
whole
but
other thing.
You're
But
valid. You're
That's it,
valid.
yeah.
You could also replace him with Les Claypool in that same
isn't that
argument.
funny? You could. I know. You really could.
He is.
That's the reality.
timeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, so I'm not saying anything that's absolute or defined or specific.
Oh, exactly.
But these
Just-
are just general
Yep.
kind of philosophies. Like,
And you're
Like,
right. You're 100% right. I mean, bass and
if
drums.
you
is not
fuck up
noticed.
as the rhythm section, people notice.
Oh yeah. I
but
can
when
fuck
the
up
guitar
all day.
players and the
all
the
day.
singers fuck up,
Yeah.
or improv, or
It's
miss
'cause
a beat, or
it's like-
come in a little late, they can improv and
Yeah.
no
And
one
I meant to do that.
notices.
It's jazz. It's jazz.
It's jazz, bro.
And that's why
Bro,
that's why
all right,
like the
that's it.
drummer and the
I'm
bass,
pouring another whiskey, and we're cheersing over the fact that you just
absolutely.
said it's jazz.
Yeah.
That's
The-
it.
it's-
You still have a little. I gotta pour a
Yeah,
little.
yeah. I'll get some
I
more
have
in there.
to cheers that because that is
No, yeah. I
that's
totally
the bullshit. That's the
And
bullshit.
that's why it's kind of
cheers that
like,
too.
and nobody. I mean, I don't know.
You want a little?
Yeah, I gotta cheers that.
I think certain people will like really appreciate drummers and bass players, but the majority of people, if they're not like musicians, will go out to a show and they'll see
All right,
what the
cheers.
singers and the guitar players
When
do.
everybody else fucks up, it's jazz.
Yeah.
But when the rhythm section fucks up,
It's
you're
a fuck up.
horrible
Yep,
band,
yep,
and
totally,
you don't deserve
totally.
to be on this stage.
It's a tough job, you know. It really is a tough. It's a tough ass job.
It really is. There's a lot of responsibility
Thanks,
and
boys.
very little
I just
glory.
love how I keep making the sound
Thanks,
guy
boys.
laugh. Shout out to sound guy because it makes me feel
makes
like
you
I
feel
can
better.
keep talking.
Yeah, that might be Jason's greatest value.
Yeah, no, it honestly it spurs.
Making us
it's-
feel
he's
better
like
when
a
we make
producer
jokes
that
that
like
don't land with
he's
everyone else.
He's a producer that like spurs you on and makes you keep
Yeah.
on like So shout out.
He's our
yeah.
Zach.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to change your name to Zach?
Shout out to Jason. No, let's name him. Let's Jason. That's Jason and Will back there giggling and laughing
yeah.
and
Yeah,
making
Jason
us
and
feel
Will.
like we're rock stars.
Exactly. It puts the whole like this is my first podcast that I've ever done.
Oh,
And it
no
makes
shit,
me,
huh?
Yeah, makes me feel like I'm like really doing it. You know what I mean?
Well, good for
Yeah.
you, dude.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
That makes me happy, dude.
Oh yeah.
And it's also the best podcast I've
Me
ever
too.
been on.
Yeah, this is. Yeah,
Is this our podcast?
yeah
This is
I think
awesome.
this
Hell
is
yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
Shannon, I think I stole your
that.
beer.
Oh no, bro.
Look
that's
at
not-
that.
That's you.
Are you sure? There's two of them over here.
Uh-oh.
That's you.
They're both me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Shannon
gave
doesn't
up
really
on
drink
one of
beer.
them.
Oh, I can help
He's
you.
more of a JMO guy.
Shannon, yeah, I can help you with one.
Oh, you can have as many as you want, homeboy.
This is great.
It is
Shannon
great.
said,
It's a great.
Shannon just said light beer, and then he said Jameson, and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying Jameson.
Light Jameson beer.
I'm not buying Jameson, let alone showing it on my podcast. No.
That's awesome.
No
You gotta
offense,
think
but
about
Jameson.
Jameson.
It's
Kind
cool.
of sucks. If
Really?
you want an Irish whiskey, there's a lot better Irish
I got
whiskey.
you. Is it,
Dave-
is it
Dave
like the
on
Jack
some
Daniels
yeah.
Irish
Yes,
whiskey?
that's
Okay.
exactly
Tell him
And
what,
I
dude.
fucking hate
And the
Jack
reason
Daniels.
is because we're buying it in America. So it's the same
makes
reason
sense.
real Guinness can't be bought in America. There's some weird import tax bullshit. Like you got to really get deep into brewing and distilling culture to understand.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you the fucking
So Guinness
absolute nuts and bolts.
Is made brewed like whatever we're buying here is made here.
It is not real.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason when you go, and same thing with Red Stripe. There's a reason when you go to Jamaica and you drink a Red Stripe beer, or you go to Ireland and you drink a Guinness, it can look identical on the fucking label.
Mm-hmm.
It will not taste the same.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
like
is
going to
not
McDonald's for the
transportation.
Coca-Cola, you know,
Yeah.
or
It
any
is
fast
not
food
just
restaurant. It's like way
transportation.
better than getting it in a
Interesting.
can, like way better.
Interesting. Yeah, it was always funny to
It's
me that
because
like
they have to be. I'm just going to tell you. Here's the answer. It's because it has to be rebottled in our country.
Mm-hmm.
in order to be distributed in this country. So when you look at Guinness, if you look on the bottle, it will say distributed by, and then it will not be Guinness. It will be a different company. Even if it says Guinness, it will be something else.
Yeah.
So there's a transfer of that alcohol from one vessel to another to be bottled, blah, 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 blah. And so what you're drinking here tastes different, and there's a reason why you notice it. You're not crazy. You're not being gaslit. It's not a freshness issue. It's not a different beer.
Yeah.
It's a rebottling. It's a rebottling and redistribution. That is a fucking fact. I will die on that hill.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about it.
I've known this for a
if
while.
you've experienced it, like, I mean,
I always thought it was interesting that, I mean, now, you know, NA beers, and there's a lot of stuff that's like kind of across the board, but at the time, Guinness and other brewers had to make 3-2 beer just for Utah. Like, they wouldn't otherwise have ever done it, but because of Utah, they had to make 3-2 beers.
and now we're near Minnesota, and you go to, you know, a gas station.
Yeah,
And they
so
got the
there's like
price, too.
7 stages by the time you get a 3-2 Guinness beer.
Yeah, can you
and
imagine
it
that,
tastes
right?
like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's wild.
tastes like shit.
That's wild.
That's why no
Interesting.
one drinks an NA stout.
Right.
Like no one does. I mean,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that.
Very few people.
Honestly,
Right.
I'm bullshitting. I just made that up. I don't know if that's true. What else do we got? I got to take a piss. Let's go back into chat, and we're gonna play the one music video that definitely works.
Sweet.
The sound's gonna be really good on it too. So
Yeah.
Oh, we got comments
tone.
too. We got
Your tone in
the
this
tone,
video
the tone's
really
so good.
cuts
You can
it.
really the symbols
We're
come
being
through a lot.
sarcastic. We got some
is
Spanish.
Rainbow River Rihanna?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
hell yeah.
We got some Spanish
Yep.
happening.
That's my girl. Shout out Rhiannon again.
Oh wait, no,
I
that's
love
just
you.
There you go.
that's just the word
You're the
nanya.
best, Rhiannon.
I
Thank
thought it
you.
was Spanish. Please don't sleep on Heed the Warning. They're
Yeah.
such an incredible up and coming band. I don't think you guys are up and coming. I think you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate
Especially after
that.
like, you know,
I appreciate
4 or 5
that.
years of working here.
I think you're here. No, I think here's what I think. I think you guys are so present that I, as an experienced, been around the block guy, thought you were an old band who had relaunched and
Oh, yeah.
re-released
Yeah.
shit.
Cool, man.
That's how present you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Thank
not
you.
up and coming.
And
that's
that's-
the opposite of that.
And that's
You've
just-
created the illusion that you're legit
Yeah.
and you're here to stay.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
And I don't think it's really an illusion,
Yeah.
but you did that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like that's the art.
Yeah. Right.
That's-
Absolutely.
If we turn the business into an art, that's what you guys did.
Yeah.
And I'm super impressed, man.
Thank you.
Honestly, man,
That
like
means
I
a
don't,
lot.
swear
Just
to
wait
God,
till we play
if you
on
watch
Friday.
if you watch this podcast, which you probably don't, none of you have watched this podcast. But if you have, I don't kiss anybody's ass.
Yeah.
Like if you're legit, I'll give you your props.
Yeah.
However, if you come on my podcast and you spit some bullshit, I will
You'll also do that.
absolutely
Mhm.
be like, "Fuck you."
Yep. Yep.
Like, no.
Hell yeah.
And this happened once, and I felt terrible about it, and it changed the way I did podcasting. But that's a whole other
Was
conversation.
that the one where is it like the headline says you got called out or something? I haven't watched that one yet, but you have one where it's like your tagline is like "I got called out" or something, and it was worth it.
That is that guy. That is that episode. But
Okay.
that's not the moment.
Okay.
The moment is when he decided that his band was so good. Quote, "We can run with After the Burial." And
One of my favorite bands, by the way. Like,
before
oh my
he
god,
could
dude!
finish
After
that
the fucking
sentence,
burial,
I was like, "You're high." And then
clear the table. That's enough.
they're actually coming on the podcast. I think next week. When is
boy.
Wolf Mask coming on the podcast?
I want to hear that one after the burial song.
We're gonna watch this one live.
I just need to be super honest about this. Like, I kind of ruined this kid's life.
I'm glad you did.
So like,
He deserved it.
he was in this band.
He didn't heed the warning.
He didn't heed the warning.
He fucking did not. Jesus Christ.
Dude.
I didn't even do that. That happened. You did that.
Yeah, it's natural.
I'm gonna get one
We're
in.
having a good
I'm gonna
conversation,
get one
man.
in.
It's
I'm
good.
gonna
Yeah,
get
you're
one
gonna-
in.
you'll
I'm
get
gonna
one.
get one
Yeah,
in.
I
I
feel you.
believe it.
The quota hasn't been met yet. No, but dude literally just like bypassed every single tier you could possibly climb in the metal scene and immediately compared himself to the Prince of metal. Like After the Burial is our Prince.
Yeah.
There
I saw
is
them
no
at Station
higher
4
level
back
of
in the
the
day.
Minnesota metal mountain that you can climb.
Yeah.
It's After the
Such a
Burial,
good fucking
full
band.
stop. Because honestly, American Head Charge, not metal.
Yeah.
They're
And not as
new
good.
metal, industrial, hard rock, kind of their own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost on that level what we talked about earlier, creating your own genre, creating your own sound. I talked to those guys, I'm super close with those guys. They say they got fucked by two things. System of a Down and 9/11.
Oh god, yeah.
That's what fucked.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what fucked American Head Charge.
Yeah.
Sequentially,
Yeah.
System of a Down happened, and then 9/11 happened, and everything that System of a Down did immediately, or I'm sorry, American Head Charge did was like, this
Yeah.
is bad marketing for us.
That makes
And
sense.
Nobody fucked
Yeah.
with them.
A lot of bands could probably say about COVID too, you know, like that just their momentum was going somewhere. And
Yeah, if you're screaming an anti-pharma message,
right? But even just
there-
thinking about like, you know,
Is
just
there
all
time
the,
to play an After the Burial song?
well, we'll
Like,
get
what's ahead?
flagged.
Oh, we will. Okay,
we'll get
never
flagged.
mind then.
That's the
I thought like if you're gonna like take a break or whatever, it could be like a
No, we're gonna play
passing
your-
thing or
we're
whatever.
gonna play your
oh,
video when we
perfect.
take a
Well,
break,
I
but-
love that even more.
But what I'm saying is, dude just was like, we can run with After the Burial. Which, like, if you think about it, like Wolves, right? Like, one of their
Yeah.
album names.
yeah,
Like, what you're saying is you can, like, contend.
yeah.
Like, I can keep up with them. Then they could not.
Absolutely not.
And what I tried to explain to this kid, and I feel horrible for this, by the way, completely have changed the way I do podcasts since this moment. I felt like shit, dude. It haunted me for months. Months. Dude, I just felt like this aching in my heart.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I did. It took a year or two to manifest, but I knew what I did. And I was like, I fucked up.
Like it was too harsh, kind of.
No, I just...
Or like
It
too on
was
the
too,
nose.
it was too harsh.
Yeah.
It was too...
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Well, I mean,
I could have been a little more diplomatic about it and kind of like massaged it, and I
Yeah.
could have planted
Indulged
some
him a
seeds
little bit,
instead
maybe.
of been like,
But it's also a crazy thing to just be like, oh yeah, like one of the most, probably the most famous Minnesota metal band, and like the
Yeah.
claim is like, yeah, we're at that level. Like I've never even heard anybody like come close to saying that.
it's you wonder if it's just like if you think it's in
Yeah,
conversation and maybe you don't.
You're literally summing it up.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what I always remember is when Oasis tried to say that they were essentially at the level of the Beatles, and you know, arrogantly
Dude,
said they were better. I mean, I
The
lost
thing
all
is-
my.
The thing is, though, I
respect
don't
for
know. I
them.
can't remember what concert it was, but they like flew into a
That's an
helicopter.
insane thing to say out
Well, that's
loud.
kind of
It
like-
is,
right, that's
it
my
is,
thing,
but
you
it's
know?
like they actually in the UK they were like extremely popular.
Yeah,
like they had I the facts are missing from me, but
Look
they
it up.
I think they had
Ask him what to look
there
up.
was
Ask
like
Jason what to look
some
up.
like summer show in the UK where I feel like it was like 300,000 people showed up to like a like outdoor venue to see them play.
Yeah.
And like arguably like that is kind of the popularity that the Beatles had back in the 60s.
Yeah. I mean,
Now
maybe.
Well,
did they
also
start
said they were more popular than Jesus, and then
Right.
immediately died as a band.
Yeah, and
Right.
can
So,
you
like,
say like
part.
Oasis was like as influential as the Beatles? Absolutely not.
No.
Like they didn't say that either.
True,
but
they
like
said
the amount
big, kind
of
of
people,
big as, yeah.
what does that say? 250,000. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking. Wait, I can't.
Yeah. In
I see
96.
two numbers. I don't know. What
However, what was it around 2000?
Okay, so it just says that in the second part. So they had 250 each night, total
Okay.
500.
Yeah.
Now look up the Beatles.
Well, or I always kind of laugh like. If you guys remember the band Dispatch,
Because that's how they're doing. Which also, this is a super deceptive way to do this. Which is why I get super shitty about bands being like, we out. Like Lady Gaga is now the greatest drawing artist of all time.
Yeah.
Because she did a free concert in Brazil. Cool.
Yeah.
Metallica did a free concert in Moscow.
Yeah.
And
That was kind of my point I was getting at. Dispatch they did their final
But
ever
there was
free
less
concert in
people, is
Central
what I'm
Park, and
saying.
1 million people showed up.
yeah.
You know, I'm probably over exaggerating a little bit, but it's more than 250,000. And it's like, okay, I mean, you're drawing. I mean, Simon and Garfunkel did 500,000 in Rome. It's like if we're just talking about crowd numbers, it's still a lot
Is it
bigger than
and
Oasis.
the big thing is like these numbers that we're talking about. it was free concerts.
All those, all those
for
the
sure.
same,
Like
right?
the Metallica concert.
That does kind of level the playing field.
Yeah, 250,000 paying
million
to see.
people.
Yeah,
Free.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga in Brazil.
That was
it
1.6.
2 point something? I think it was like 2.1 million. She
Holy
shattered it.
Okay,
But
I didn't
again,
know that.
free.
They have like 3 speaker lines, you know,
Yeah,
like going
yeah.
back into the crowd.
Yeah,
You ever seen like
yep.
the old Woodstock photos? How they have like,
Unreal.
you got the main stage
Look up that Lady Gaga in
speakers.
Brazil.
I don't know. It's one of those things where, everybody can put their foot in their mouth. That does suck. But
Shannon
I think
talking at all.
Plus, he doesn't put his foot in his mouth that way.
The quietest lead singer I've ever met
Yes,
in
it's
my
true.
entire life.
He likes
get
to
him on
keep
stage.
it on the table.
To get him on
It's
stage.
just cracking me up,
Well,
dude.
I'll give him this credit. I mean, he also he'll sit like this. He doesn't he's not going to be like, oh, whatever. Then you see him on stage, and it's like a different.
He's
persona
a
now.
fucking animal on stage.
it's a
Like
whole
I'm still
different
trying to
persona.
match his energy on stage.
Yeah.
2.5 million fans Lady Gaga
Oh my
did
God.
in Rio
Goddamn.
Beach.
Oh my God! It's always amazing too. They
That's
always do this
crazy.
thing attended by a
Copacabana
female
Beach,
artist.
sorry.
Who gives a shit about a female artist, dude? It's just like 2.5 million showed up to see someone. Period.
Yeah.
Male,
exactly.
female,
Yeah.
any
That's
alien.
my point. That's actually literally
Fucking
my point.
cares?
The
It's
event,
insane
they
that
could
she
have
brought
put
that many
Metallica
people
on.
Yes,
They
would
could
have
have
brought that many
and
people.
Metallica would have done 2.5 million.
No, they wouldn't.
Oh,
it's
they
just-
would have.
No, I disagree. I don't think they would have.
100%.
Yeah,
In
maybe.
Brazil?
At free, man.
I
In
think
Brazil?
Free. That's true.
It's
In
not pop music
Brazil?
though.
Hold
It
on.
doesn't
pop
matter,
music,
dude.
it's
Did you see the
more
Metallica is
numbers.
the biggest thing
And did you see
in
the
Brazil.
videos of System of a Down and what they pulled off in Brazil?
No.
No.
The fires and all that stuff.
No,
I mean,
he's
that
right,
was
dude.
wild.
You could have put, dude, I swear to God,
Jesus.
you could have put on fucking Diddy.
And what is-
Mid-trial.
Oh God! Oh yeah, and 3-point-something million show up to this Diddy. They're just like, what?
He's in
Could
like
you
a
go freak
plastic
off on
box.
stage?
Like
Because here's my
I
argument.
can't
There's
exit this
just
box,
that
but I'm still
many-
gonna sing with the microphone.
There's just that many more people. You put on any. You could have done
I get
U2.
what you're
would have done
saying.
2.5 million people.
Well, let's go to Brazil then. Next stop.
That's what I'm saying.
Brazil.
October. I gotta go there during the fall because otherwise I'll burn to a crisp,
burn
and
to a
you won't
crisp.
want to see any less of me
Imagine
after
opening
that.
for that concert.
Our
Couldn't
concert.
imagine anything better.
No,
man.
just
He
Lady,
don't.
Lady Gaga, Metallica, anybody.
kill it.
2.5 million. 2.5 million is the total,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is obviously not what was there at one moment, right? But
Rod's too.
Oh my God, dude! Holy shit!
what?
Rock and Rod.
Is
That
Annie one of
unbelievable.
his songs, or what's the one that's he's like?
3.5 million people, man. Oh
Holy
my God, on a
shit.
beach.
94 too. There's
That's
like less.
New
There's a lot less people.
1994.
A lot less people back then than there's
That's
today.
what I'm
you know
saying.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no
so
internet,
like
no internet
percentage
to
of
advertise
population
it?
was much higher back then too.
Oh my God, man.
And that's a long time ago. That's a really long
That's
time
nuts.
ago.
Could you? What was that song we listened to on the just in the van last time? Was it
There's a few of
Wake
them.
Up.
Nah, it wasn't. Not Wake Up Sleepy Jean,
No, it's that.
but
Well, you guys,
Stay with me. Stay with
you
me.
guys-
yeah,
I'm-
Stay With Me, yeah.
God, can
I'm
you
gonna take
imagine
a week. I'll be right back.
in front of 3.5 million people in Brazil
Finally breaking
dancing
the
to
seal.
that?
Dude,
Yeah, I gotta go too.
unreal.
Yeah, I think we all got a
Get a
piss
piss,
actually.
Yeah, let's play Stay With Me and we'll take a break.
You
I
wanna-
was just gonna say, if everybody's got to take a piss at the same time,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna play a song then.
Shannon just, sits and absorbs.
Wait, what?
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't pee, he doesn't drink, he just absorbs.
You just self-consume?
Yeah. And he lives off of like air and some sunlight sometimes and stuff like that.
Dude,
Couple bites of a Culver's
destroyed him
burger
on
every
this
now and
comic. You said I haven't seen him move this much.
Oh, I get it.
Since
We
he's
get him
been
laughing.
here.
Yeah, we get it.
But
That's
dude,
easy.
when he's on stage,
We
this
can
guy,
back-
this
Mike
guy
and
is
I
a
killed him.
fucking
Yeah.
animal.
No, you almost killed him.
We'll get back Mike and I'll get him going.
Yeah.
You accuse him of self-consumption, and then he almost imploded
Absorption.
on
Absorption.
himself. He
Absorbs
almost
the room.
imploded on himself.
We can bring him
In
back to
laughter.
that too.
We can bring him back. We can bring him back.
If
It's
he
fine.
implodes, we'll bring him back. We know
All
what
right,
to do.
Jason, play the one video that we know works. Bring us to main overhead, please. Bring us to main overhead and play the one video that we absolutely know works. If we need more breaks, because I'm breaking the seal, if we need more breaks, we're either going to let them guys talk or we're going to play one of the Montoya machines. Because either
yeah.
way, we're promoting the show this Friday.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah. Friday,
Uh,
June 6th at Dayblock Brewing.
man, this is going to be
It's
a
gonna be
banger.
so
I'm
fucking
vibing
good.
with you guys
I-
so
I
hard
know,
right
I
it's
now.
haven't,
so much more
I haven't
fun.
felt
I'm
this good
having
about
so
a show
much
in a
fun
long
with
ass
you,
time.
buddy, dude.
It's gonna be a barn burner, that's for sure.
Yep.
Hey, say Cloud, are y'all still with us? All right, beautiful.
So many pieces. I thought we had enough. I thought that we had what we needed. I thought we had enough, but you showed me that I'm so broken and beaten. A fragile shell that holds me in. Now I'm just repeating everything you told me to. So I'll lower my head down tonight. I'll put my hands on my face and I'll wonder why. I think I'm bound to this anger here in life. I'll get it together and set it right. It's a strange discovery still believing everything you want me to. And when you look at these pieces, can you sense I don't want you to? I am perceiving that you can see right through me. And don't be so cruel, I am aware. It's a strange discovery that we coalesce apart. What if I would keep us together? It's slowly deconstructing me. I can't say that it's gonna be any different than before, but I know that you mothered me into the man I am today. Of the damage that's still here, it hangs an anchor from my neck, and now it's sinking. I am aware of the damage that's still here. It hangs an anchor from my neck, and now it's sinking. I will raise myself up here, alright. I'll take my hands off my face and I'll tell you why. I am farther from the wreck behind me. Now I can see. It's a strange discovery that we coalesce apart. What if I would keep us together? It's slowly deconstructing me. I can't say that it's gonna be any different than before, but I know that you mothered me into the man I am today.
Nah, we were talking to him. He's good.
No, that's his job, dude. No, don't let him off the hook. Nope, that's his job. No, he has literally one job, and that's it. No.
We're kind of thinking like maybe 15 more minutes so we can do our next.
Hey,
practice
if you guys got a
exercise.
heart out, yeah,
cool?
yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Awesome,
Yeah, if you guys got a heart out.
Yeah.
We did manage to play your live video and one of our tunes, so hopefully everybody's vibing.
Oh, yeah.
And they're interested in Friday. So yeah, let's wrap this up, man. What time is it?
7:50 something.
Oh my God, dude.
We could do like 20:30, can't we? Do it
Yeah,
at
let's go to
8:30?
let's go
We're
let's
10
go
minutes
to
from
8:30.
practice.
8:30. That yeah.
No,
yeah.
let's go to
Let's
8:30.
do 8:30. Yep.
That'll give us a legit.
I'll message the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Corey 8:30.
Or should we say 8:20 and then that way we can.
Let's just do 8:30. It's a nice
Okay,
round
no,
number.
I'm with
Let's just do 8:30.
I'd rather stay. I'm having a good time.
It makes it way easier for us to do it on the back end too. We can just think 8:30, and we'll fucking figure it out. So, let's talk about Far, Far Away and Casanatra, because you guys don't know Casanatra. I don't know shit about Far, Far Away, but I will tell you, Casanatra is a band that's hard to follow. Like, I'm just going to tell you right now.
Oh yeah.
Dennis Asher is one of the best musicians you'll ever have the pleasure of sharing the stage with. That's a lead singer / guitar player. A true, brilliant, elite level artist. And then Lance Reed, the drummer, one of the best drummers that you'll ever be around, period.
Fuck yeah.
Not necessarily gonna like fucking throw down some fucking crazy progressive jazz shuffle, or not necessarily the guy who's gonna throw down a death metal beat. But when you watch him play, you go, oh, but he can do those things.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's a huge part of being a musician, I feel like, is the ability to do these crazy things, but holding back, because you're serving the song.
Yeah.
Mark of a true
That's
artist is
exactly
restraint.
what Casanatra does.
Yeah.
True artists.
Yep. And it's
True
funny,
artists.
this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and that's exciting to hear because, I mean, I know most of Heat feels this way, but it's like, we would rather have, if we're opening, we're going to do this, we'd rather have somebody that's going to just rip the stage and be like, good luck, boys. Like, set that
Right.
tone.
Yep.
We would love,
Yeah.
we're going to do the same thing. And that it should be. Honestly, it's like, as much as it is what we talked about, it's more of an industry thing, it tends to be more who you're going to invite, who can draw, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, really, we would just rather have a ripping show that's like front to back.
Yep.
It was like, God, it just got better and
A
better.
good experience
and
for
better.
everybody that's
Yeah,
there.
100%.
That's what it is. It's
And for the
better,
bands
better,
too,
better. The opening band's the opening band. The second band's the second band. Third band's the third band. And then the headliner's the fucking headliner for a goddamn
Should be,
reason.
100%.
And this is a real event. It's
Yep.
a special night.
Yep.
These don't happen very often. Usually what happens is what we joked about earlier. It's the same four bands shuffling around,
Right.
drawing the same 200 people. This feels really special. I'm
Yep. It
super
does,
excited to
yeah,
be a part of
yeah.
this, you guys.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of touring, and so I've always been just like, hey, friends, family, whatever. Like, this is our hometown show for the summer, and
You're doing it the right way.
we're just fucking. I'm like, I never promote that much for my shows because I'm like, if you want to come to it, that's awesome. If you don't, whatever. But like, this is the one that I'm like plugging to people. Like, please come to this show because it's something really special. And the fact that we're like, we haven't really played these new songs in front of anybody in Minneapolis yet, and yeah.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
So when did you guys actually release the EP?
So we don't actually, to be determined at a later date.
Okay.
For streaming, but we're gonna do physical releases this Friday.
So
Yeah.
With
are
CDs this
any
Friday.
songs available from this EP on your streaming platforms?
Not yet.
Well, the songs that we're gonna play, some of them are from our first EP, but we're honestly like mostly playing shit that has never been released before.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
we will have that. We will have a physical copy of this new EP. So stuff we're playing, we will
Yeah.
have a CD to represent
Sure.
a lot of it.
It's happening.
But it's not like that day
Yeah, we don't.
everything's
No.
available.
You'd have to
Okay.
buy the CD.
We're
afterwards to enjoy it.
we're working with marketing people that know more than us about the industry and everything, and so we're like kind of letting them make
trusting
the
them.
trusting them to make the key decisions because that's what they
Yeah.
do. That's their literal job for all
There's
this
a
shit.
lot of different strategies out there. The one we're subscribing to right now is we're doing the slow drip. So we release a single
Mhm.
every 45
Yeah,
days.
Yeah,
And we're building up to our official release of our
Yep.
album.
I like that.
So we're going to do like 5 songs every 45 days.
Mhm.
And then
I think
boom.
that's the right strategy these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you try to do like some sort of online video element to push it and help it. So even if it's just like a lyric video,
Yep.
nobody's on screen. It's just lyrics popping on
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a visual representation of what you got going on.
Yeah, I think we're in a weird period of the music industry where some of this is like known, but a lot of this is still very like, hey,
Testing
we're
the
gonna do
waters.
it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
Like, well, we're going to do it this way, and then we all got to kind of like. And this is what I want: is we all kind of talk,
hmm
text, phone calls, Discord.
Yeah.
Hey,
Figure it out.
here's
Well,
what
what's
worked.
working?
Here's
Yep.
what didn't work.
Absolutely.
And everything down to what, bro. My homies in Reaping Asmodea. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Oh
these
yeah,
guys.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Shout out to
very,
those guys.
we're
Yeah.
very well aware.
We're driving their old
We
van.
love those
Yeah.
dudes. big love for those dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
especially
close
Phil.
friends of
Phil has
ours.
been
Likewise.
like great asset.
Like,
Very
He's an
close
awesome
friends
dude.
of mine.
Yeah.
I've been super close with those dudes over the years. Different levels of close with different members.
Yeah.
They might be the best marketing geniuses in town as far as merch.
Yeah.
Did you see their post
far as
recently?
merch,
what they
for
just
sure.
Yeah,
released?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, dude, I
I
saw
don't know
it
if I
and
can
should
say
we
it
say
on
it out
air,
loud?
but,
Our drummer got one
I'm gonna
at the
say it.
last Minneapolis show.
Reaping as pull it up, Jason.
yeah, pull
he
up the
has
picture.
it,
Pull
and
up the picture. The post
Reaping-
is so funny too. Like,
Reaping
it's
Asmodea
so fucking funny.
Yeah.
just released official Reaping Asmodea butt plugs.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Actual merch.
And they
Yep.
sold out, didn't they?
$15 plus shipping.
Damn straight. Yep.
it's like even people that don't use them are like, I want to buy one of those. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
Which is like genius marketing. If you get people that don't even like want the product that you're like selling, that they're gonna buy it anyways. Just
$15,
because
fuck
of
it.
the
It's funny.
The
It also
funny
seems like a
value.
screaming
yeah.
deal. I haven't bought a butt plug in my life. But
It's been many
Feels like
a
a deal.
fortnight since I bought a butt plug, but here we are.
98, those things are a lot more,
Yeah.
I swear. Unbelievable.
But seriously,
Yeah.
genius marketing. Because honestly, even if you're not a butt plug user, it's just hilarious. I want to buy one just to put on the bar next to that skull up there.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's just
and-
funny.
And, you know,
It
and you
is.
also you realize after a little while, it's like, I mean, even if you're playing decent sized venues, at the end of the day, like the tickets don't really pay the bills. So you gotta have, you
Yeah.
have to have something else. You
You
know,
they
and-
get the motor
Obviously,
running.
There it
streaming
is.
Oh my
streaming
God.
does not pay
Yeah,
as well.
there it
Hey,
is.
did you guys hear about that thing though? Like
Quite
recently,
literally, just so, for the viewers who are seeing this,
That's amazing.
we didn't make this up. And not only
Amazing.
is it a butt plug, but if
Stainless
you
steel.
look at the tip of said butt plug, it is a very. That's definitely That's definitely Alex's penis.
For those who crave more than blast
That's a
beats.
100% to scale model of Alex Kelly's penis.
I love the. Can you scroll down a little bit? It says designed for spiritual awakenings, ritualistic filth, TSA pat downs, and end awkwardly. Like they fucking sold this shit so fucking good.
These are geniuses.
Goddamn.
These
Goddamn.
And this is a death metal band.
And the comments, the comments, yeah.
TSA took mine. Now I'm on a no-fly list, and I still bought 2 more.
Probably you soon.
Metal Dad.
They're funny and they're
Those
good
are the
at-
homies. They've been on the
Yeah,
podcast multiple times, different variations of the lineup.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
those are the homies.
Yeah, like I said, shout out to those guys because that's, you know, we're driving their van down the road.
Yep.
Yep.
If you're in a rock band and you're not doing edgy shit like this, then you're a pussy.
Yeah, why not,
Yeah.
right?
You're a band full of pussies, and no one's gonna buy your merch, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna work full-time jobs for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Like, you
Yep.
got to stick out, man. Be original. Be fun. This is the age of authenticity, man.
Yeah.
We are coming out of cancel culture, which means, can you finish the sentence? We overcorrect, right? We go the other
Yeah, right.
direction.
The pendulum
right?
swings the other way.
Right? This is how we're going to
Yeah.
create a group of new M&Ms. You know?
Especially with all the AI stuff, it's only going to make the the authenticity that much more important.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
the
a good
live
point.
show that much more important.
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
So I have this theory about AI. I think AI is unintentionally going to save rock and metal music. Because here's why.
Interesting.
Hear me out. Tell me, and again, don't agree with me just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's my podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Here's my theory. Anybody will be able to write a banger. And I mean anybody
Yeah.
will be able to prompt an AI to create a banger. So, the literal 11-year-old neighbor, the autistic kid across the street, is going to create Drake-level bangers, right?
Yep.
Eminem-level bangers. He can record his voice and then have AI turn him into Eminem.
Yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen. That will become so common and so redundant that making good music no longer matters. What's going to matter, can you get on stage
And do it.
and play that
Yeah, right.
with real live instruments?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we want
Yeah.
to see.
It's funny. 'Cause-
So the only people who will be able to do this, even if you start with AI, even if I come up with a chord progression or a chorus idea or a verse and I go, hey, help me out and bump me along the path, even if we do that, that won't even be judged anymore because everybody will do that eventually.
Yeah, right.
I might
Yeah.
be talking 50 years from now. I might be talking 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. What's going to matter is, can you actually get up and convince me you're playing that organically on the instruments I heard
Yeah, no
on
backing
this
tracks.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
tones, with the
record? Which
all that
means
stuff.
the only 2 genres of music in pop that will possibly ever make it are going to be rock and metal in subdivisions, emo. Oh shit!
But generally speaking,
hardcore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I totally agree with you.
I would also agree with that, and even to break it down to the old phrase of you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody can be
That's what it is.
anybody
Right?
can be a bedroom guitar
seriously,
player, but
100%,
like,
that's what it is.
can you do this
There's
live? Can you do it in front of
nothing
people?
else?
One of my
And then do you look cool doing it?
Yeah.
Do
yeah.
I resonate
well,
with
that's a whole
you?
other
Yeah.
thing.
I stole this thing from Quiet Drive. Do you guys remember?
I love
Oh, yeah.
Quiet
Oh, yeah.
Drive.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, know those boys.
I was like 16 years old, snuck into the rock nightclub behind the scenes. Wasn't supposed to be there. I was in a battle of bands across town. But I knew some people,
Mhm.
and I stood backstage, and I watched. It was LTD, Ginger Jake, Quiet
Dude,
Drive,
Ginger Jake.
and some other
Holy
random band.
shit.
One of them
And
brothers.
some other band I don't remember. And they were in a battle of the bands. And the winner of this night, it was the finals. The winner of this night went to X Fest or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck.
Wow.
And I don't remember who won. That's actually not the moral of the story. I was standing on the side of the stage, and the Quiet Drive band got done playing. And the drummer got done and slammed his sticks on his snare drum like he was furious.
Brandon.
Like
Oh,
something went wrong. But there was something, bro, it struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since that day, every single set I've ever finished on drums, I slam my sticks on that snare drum
Dude,
and
hell
send
yes.
them into the crowd.
Hell
Absolutely.
That's my signature on
Yeah.
the way out. I stole that from a Minneapolis local
Hey.
drummer
That's
at
what
a
Picasso
battle of the
said.
bands. You know what I mean? And I don't think Quiet Drive won.
Good artists
Even
create,
better.
great artists steal.
God, I can't.
Sure, yeah,
It's
there you
for
go.
real. It's
That's
for real.
Brandon, I struggle to remember his last name right now, but Brandon's our drummer.
He was, Brandon. That was his
Yeah,
name.
really
God,
good
I
dude.
would have never been able
Really
to
good
tell you
guy.
his man. Amazing performer.
Yeah.
And when he got done, and he threw his sticks at that snare drum, and they bounced.
Yeah.
It was just something that I snapshot. I didn't play drums for like 6 years until then.
Yeah.
Like it was like 6 years later I started playing drums.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's my vibe.
Isn't that cool?
That's my vibe.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And so if I'm vibing, if I feel like I had a good show, and I can't give anything more at the end of that show when I'm done, I throw those sticks at that snare drum as hard as I possibly can and bounce them into the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
kinda
I'm not
like when
vibing,
Yeah.
I just walk off.
It's like when you're at a
stage.
wedding.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do
Yeah.
some. I kind of one of my favorites was Peanut always, and I kind of steal his ending a little bit.
what is his?
I just kind of give everybody like a little bow, a little thank you bow. I've
That's
done
a
it
good one.
every
What
show.
do you do as a lead singer?
He's usually puking and spitting and on the
Puking,
floor, shaking.
spitting,
Very
or
punk rock.
collapsed on the floor.
Very punk rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
He gives it his all.
We usually end with Wolf, and it's usually a bunch of spit and him just in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's a good time.
One of us will pick him up, and then
What
Was
do you
the-
care as
was
a guitar
the-
player?
I talk to people about my gear. Oh, dude, what kind of pedal you got going on? Like, yeah,
He's finishing the show, and he's just like,
I'm like
and by
wrapping,
the way, it's a
wrapping cables.
5150.
I'm wrapping
and that's a
cables
Les
and shit. And
Paul.
they're all like, oh yeah, what you got going on there? I'm like, can you please, like, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm trying to.
He's talking about like the
get out
ending of
here,
the show,
yeah.
like when we
No,
actually.
I know.
you
I'm just being
When you're
facetious.
vibing- when
being
you're vibing,
facetious,
though.
Adam.
He's just yelling out his gear. That's the ball guitar.
When you're vibing though, and you crushed it,
Yeah.
what's the exit move off stage?
Yeah, what is yours?
And not
I don't-
don't
I honestly,
just
I don't
don't just say
even-
you flick your pick.
I
into
don't
the
do
crowd.
that. I
Come
should
on.
start
He
to.
spits.
Actually,
He spits
I
at everyone.
used to have picks that had
Some
my.
guys used to smash
my name
guitars,
on
which
it.
is the dumbest thing of all time.
I would have my at the Mike Drager. That's what I'm on, like Instagram, like everything. And so I would like pass those out to people. I haven't like printed them in a long time, but that's
We
what I
got to
used to.
get you an exit move, dude.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Let's
What
work-
I'm
let's
hearing
work
is
on
you
that.
haven't figured this part out
That's I think
It's-
you're right.
It's the one blind spot you apparently have. So you
I
gotta,
have many blind
dude,
spots.
And you can't
but
bow and you can't spit and fall in it. 'cause
spitting
those are
milk,
taken.
spitting milk into the crowd. What do you think about that?
Chug it. You
That'd
gotta,
be-
you just
chug,
gotta
chug it.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
You
But
could-
the
you
last
could do
something
something
like
pass
that.
of the carton.
You
just like-
pound a gallon of milk and you don't throw up and you walk off stage.
I
and
feel
then
like
throw
that's
up.
a bit much, but we're headed in the
pouring
right
beer
direction.
into the milk and then
But we're
chugging
headed
it. How
in the
about
right
that?
direction. No, I like the
no,
idea.
for sure. You're right. I think it is a blind spot that I have.
Like
and
the bass player from
I'm
Dead
willing to
Hands
acknowledge
Rising
it.
back in the day were all purple and then just did this.
Purple Flower.
Dude, hell yeah.
Kind of like that one. Maybe I'm- I
Like
might-
he
I
had
might have
like
to
the
take that one, too.
WWE. Yeah.
I think I could.
Honestly, he
Well,
had
your
the
move.
jaw. He had the jaw structure for it too, though. Like,
Yeah.
like there's something about the bass player from Dead Hands Rising with the fucking all purple and the fucking.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
more
there
of a
was a-
peanut
there was
build
a
anyway,
vibe.
so that fits me better.
Get out of here.
Maybe I could show
And
off my
that's-
tattoos. You know, if I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt or short and
Get
booted,
out of here.
just,
You have a Mike Rowe vibe too, dude. Like,
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
you got the vibe that everybody likes you and respects you, so you can fuck off with the humility shit, dude.
Hey, I like being humble.
Got him.
That's what I'm bowing everybody, you know?
Everybody likes you and respects you, so
Given-
fuck all the way off.
Likes maybe respect. But no, I
It's a
appreciate it.
toss-up.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
come
you.
check us out, you guys. This Friday night,
Yeah.
literally 3 days from now. Right? Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
3 nights
Wow.
from now. 2 nights from now, depending on how you want to count it.
Mike is going to
Depending
have
on
his
what
shit
time-
together and he's going to do something cool.
milk.
We're
at
going to
the
have an
end.
exit move off
Yeah, Mike's
stage
gonna
for
have
you.
an exit move.
I'm gonna brainstorm. We'll take it back to the hive mind and we'll figure out what the best
Like,
option
even
is.
if it's just you
straight.
set your guitar down and you give the old WCW fucking.
Oh yeah, talk to him. Talk to him about wrestling.
Here we
Hell
go,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. Big
Play that
wrestling
channel.
fan over here.
Just do whatever you want, man. Just
Yeah.
challenge your inner. Because here's what every performer needs
Yeah,
to
it's
leave
great.
the stage with. Every single performer needs to. Actually, let me amend this. Every single performer needs to approach and leave the stage with this level of reverence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Very few people are able to write songs. Even less people are able to form a band. Even less people are able to make it to their very first show.
Yeah.
Even less people are able to play multiple shows.
Yep.
Even
Yeah,
less
absolutely.
people are able to draw a crowd. Even less people are able to record an EP and release it and go on a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, man.
what you need to always approach and leave the stage with is a great, overwhelmingly, almost religious level of reverence that says, this is a very special moment. People have paid money to come see us perform our art, and they deserve to enjoy that night as if this is the only time I will ever do this.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's
Every time.
the key.
Every time.
Absolutely.
It might be your Friday night, and you did a Thursday, and you're about to do a Saturday, but it's their
Yes.
one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
Appreciate the fact
incredible
that these
point.
these people are paying money, arranging babysitters,
Yep.
taking time off work sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I work
Oh, yeah.
Saturdays,
Absolutely, yeah.
but I want to go out Friday night. I got to
Yep.
take
Yeah.
that weekend. They did that 3 weeks in advance. This matters to people.
Big time.
Make
Hell
sure it
yeah.
matters to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
No.
let's cheesily bring this back.
Absolutely.
So we got to come up with your version of that appreciation
Wow.
as you exit the stage. This could be the last time you ever do this, and we never know this. I don't want to
So
get
true.
too dark.
It's so
No,
true.
Dimebag-
Right.
You're right. You're right, though.
Dimebag proved it, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn
Good
straight.
You
point.
never know when the
Rest in
last time
peace.
you go on that stage is.
Yeah.
So hit that fucking
Or
snare
Otis
drum.
Yeah,
or
dude.
Stevie Ray. I mean, you just fucking
Hit that
yeah,
snare
yeah.
drum like it's the most thing that ever mattered.
Yeah. That's so true.
If you're not dripping sweat by the time you walk off stage, you didn't do it
Yeah.
right.
You didn't
You
do your
didn't leave
job.
it all on the
Nope.
stage.
You didn't do it
100%.
right.
No, you didn't
100%.
do it right.
And I love the way that you put that because I've heard a version of that before, but it's that walk down of like it less and less and less. I mean, it gets nuts once you cut it down, and you start to realize you're like, yeah, we actually did all like you're so spot on. I mean, it's like it's so hard. I mean, to find 5 dudes you like, I mean, that's like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you know? I mean, we wrote songs, we recorded them, we spent that time. I mean, but like all those things. I mean, you really add all that up. We're so I mean, I know these guys feel it. We were so unbelievably fortunate
All of us.
to have
feel the
to yeah
same
to
way.
have this group
Even
of
to be at
dudes.
this point, think about this, you guys.
Yeah.
You're not on Joe Rogan right now, You're just on this asshole's podcast.
In our
But
hometown, though, that matters.
even to do this, though,
Yes.
even to just be
Right.
this organized,
Right.
to go do some shit,
Amen to these guys.
and then come back
Yeah.
into
Thank you.
town,
Absolutely.
and like people give a fuck enough
100%.
to where there's
Yeah.
a thing happening,
Yes.
and you have the opportunity to be the guys. We're like, yeah, we're the man.
Yeah.
We're the man.
That's what I live
and,
for.
and to be able to share with other bands,
what I
that's
fucking
that's
live
even
for.
more
That's what
crazy.
I'm
Who
getting
are
at.
who feel that same way, who've done the exact same thing. It's like, you know, we did this and we did this and we did this, and each level is like, you know, so much harder when it really comes down.
Exponentially less.
It's unbelievable,
Yes.
you know. And to get to the
it's
end,
not
to
even
go,
steps of the mountain; it's shavings of the
oh
mountain.
god, it's just
Like,
exactly.
like the difference between this is what I really want to end the podcast with. The difference between where you're at right now and where my band are right now, where we're already at.
yeah,
The difference between us and literally a band like Metallica. We're talking like 7 shavings.
yeah.
Not steps,
Yeah.
not huge
Right.
chunks.
Yeah, once you're at that point.
We've already jumped up to a point where the next step is such a small little.
Increment from the last. Yeah.
It's just a little,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah,
it's so
totally.
hard to do.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Yeah.
turn these last few shavings.
Yeah.
So, just appreciate the fact that you guys have gotten here, man. Because
Yeah.
seriously, everybody, it's such a fucking impossible mountain to climb, even just to get here,
Oh yeah.
let alone to go anywhere above. What
Yeah.
we're talking about above us really is about stars aligning, luck, and a little bit of money. I'm
And
very
some perse- and
charismatic,
some
and I met the
perseverance,
right people.
you know?
right?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like,
Consistency.
we could spend a
Consistency
whole
is maybe
other-
the most important thing.
We could spend a whole other podcast, and hopefully we'll do at some point about
Yeah, I
all
would love
the,
to be back.
the bullshit that
I'll
like.
have you guys on in a
But
heartbeat.
think about, you know, it's like we talk. Let's just say we listed out, and it's 10 steps of these, like, and then it's this and it's this. We all probably somewhere 6 or 7. Like something happens that you didn't see, like you could never imagine. One of your buddies has a tragedy or some other fucking thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, it's so nuts. And like, I mean, even we have had such weird little tastes of that,
Yeah.
and then have just overcome it. I trust me. You guys probably feel the same way. I mean, there's at least a couple times where I was like,
I totally. Yeah. I
God
totally
damn it,
agree
we put
with
3 years in and we're done. We're
Yeah,
done. This is
dude.
we're done. This is gonna derail us. We got about 2 more weeks and fucking we're done.
But
This is-
something
we're
happens.
still here.
Something
Yeah.
happens to where like you know the music perseveres, like we
And all of us
persevere
too. Yeah, you
as
just the
band members
attitude.
and shit. And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we really fucking want this. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. And it's like you have to make that decision. If you really want to do this for real, you have to want it so bad that you're willing to sacrifice everything to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy for me personally to have so much respect for a band that I've never met before.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
Likewise.
But just hanging out with you guys
Yeah,
and
no,
getting
it's-
to know you
it's been a
guys
fucking
as
pleasure, man.
musicians and people,
It's been so good.
there's and I don't want to sound like I'm kissing your ass because I really never do this, but like there's just
You can
there's
feel it.
There's an equity,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
and I don't know if the listeners are going to understand what I mean by equity.
I
But
think- I think
with you
musicians-
talking as little as you talk.
But his
There's
words
this
are
weird
important.
little Prince vibe I get with Shannon over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He's
know
got
what I
the
mean?
neck tattoo and everything.
Like
you
this
know?
this little quiet dude.
He's our
This
RZA
little
and our
quiet-
Jizza.
This little
That's our
this little
man.
quiet dude in the corner. Because I grew up in the hood too, so like don't fucking underestimate those quiet motherfuckers.
Nah,
Because I
absolutely
was
not.
that quiet motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dude, who was RZA? The quietest dude in the group, you know?
The most dangerous person.
100%.
That's what RZA was.
100%.
Like RZA is the most dangerous guy in Wu-Tang.
For real.
Just for the listeners who don't know where that was a Wu-Tang reference back to
Yeah, right? Gonna bring him back.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
but
We're
I
only
have-
like 1 or 2 members off anyway. We're
What
like
I would
6 dudes
call-
now, so.
what I would call how I feel about you guys as people, especially after spending 2 hours with you on the podcast. How I would describe this, how I feel about you guys, is that I have a deep resonance
Yeah.
of respect for you guys. And I hope other people can kind of jump on that.
Yeah.
Because not
Absolutely.
everybody loves our music. Not everybody's going to
So-
love your music.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I hope people understand is that you guys are making good decisions and you are doing things the right way.
Hmm.
And how I distill a lot of that is not just listening to the music and watching what you're doing on tour, on Instagram, but sometimes it funnels all the way down like a tornado into a single flyer for a show.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, man.
And sometimes, every once in a while, you can go, oh, they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to be able to see that and then unfold that on this podcast, man, this is definitely the reason I do this
Hell
podcast.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it might be a little bit of ego jacking off, you know, whatever.
Hey, we all like to do that, you know.
But seriously, the reason we have guests and I don't do solo podcasts
Yeah.
almost ever. I have done a couple, like, ask me anything, but I don't have enough fucking whatever.
Yeah.
The reason I do this is because, yeah, I'm good at having conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you
It's been-
guys are the ones that matter.
Yeah.
And to have guests that are doing good things the right way and making good decisions, I
Thank you,
feel
bro.
like I could beat this horse for an hour.
We probably could too, honestly.
But,
Yeah.
I like
it
a good
matters
beating off
so
of a
much.
horse,
To me.
you know what I
It
mean?
matters so much to me to have on guests
That guy.
that
I like
don't
making him
need to,
laugh.
I don't need to teach you anything. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
For sure.
need to teach you anything.
Absolutely.
Because you're already doing all
We're
the
doing
right
it.
things.
We're doing it. Yeah.
And I probably did a shitty job of like
You did not do.
unfolding
No,
that
you did not.
and getting us to get into the good decisions.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a
But-
fucking great time.
But next time you guys come on, that's probably what I'm going to want to dive into more.
Sure.
It's like, okay, how did you make these decisions? Why did you make
Yeah.
these decisions? Because
And we
these
got good
are the
answers
things
for all that shit.
all the
Yeah.
good local bands failed to do.
Yeah.
Like, you have all the talent in the world. 4 of you. Jason, shut the fuck up. 4 of you were the best band. Or I'm sorry. 4 of you were the best musicians in the band you were in. And then you decided to form a super band. But
Yeah.
your super band
pretty
fucking
much.
sucks.
That's yeah.
Your super band fucking sucks. Because you didn't make good decisions along the way.
Yep. Yep.
That is something I would really love
Yeah.
to dive into
Yeah.
with you
Absolutely.
guys in
Yeah.
the future. I'm serious, man. I'm so excited and so honored
Yeah.
Right
to
back
play
at
the
you,
show
dude.
with you
Man,
guys this
Yeah.
Friday.
Friday's gonna be
Right?
fucking insane. I've been like, I've been stoked about
I'm
it for
fucking
like,
jacked, dude.
And by
as
the
long
way,
as we announce the show.
and I know these guys will feel. I mean, there's nobody really doing this for our our scene locally too. So like, this is so important.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't
it
get a
is.
voice like this. We don't
It
a
is.
long format conversation to try to. I mean, some of us talking more than others, obviously, but still though. I mean,
We're gonna have to
What he
have
says
Shannon
is
on by
important.
himself.
What he
That's
says
what's
is
gonna happen.
important.
Well, I
We gotta
think-
have Shannon on.
yeah,
by
we'll do
himself.
another one. Yeah, maybe do a one-on-one, and we just stand off to the side and feed him lines.
You
or
want to
something.
come on after the show?
Yeah, there we go.
No, seriously.
We should do a Shannon
the
only.
The only date I don't have booked for the next 2-3 months is literally the Tuesday after the show. Do you
Yeah,
want to
buddy.
come on?
Yes.
I'll come on.
Yeah, yeah.
we can
Do you
Yeah.
want it and just recap?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll chat.
Yeah,
The
that'd be
vibe?
fucking
Awesome.
Let's
Hell
do
yeah.
that, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Let's
that'd
do
be
it.
so
I'm
great.
cool.
Dude, that
I'm
would
cool
be
with that.
amazing.
Yes, because you're a great interviewer. I mean, you'll definitely bring some good stuff out of him. When Shannon speaks, it's,
Once I
it's
can get you
awesome
two to stop
hear.
talking,
Shut the
I
fuck
know,
up.
yeah.
you can't shut the fuck up. No, you guys are great guests. Seriously.
You
all
had me
you guys.
pinned from day one. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it because all my friends and family know that I talk too much and stuff. But in my adult life, I do a lot less unless I'm really comfortable and amongst people
Yeah.
I really
That's
love.
how I am too. I just,
I'm a much bigger listener.
I'm literally an introvert. And
I've
you get me on
never
this
seen
shit.
this happen
We'll just
before.
talk about each
though.
other.
Yeah, and just
No, but I've never seen this
interrupting
happen
each
before.
other. Like,
I've never seen
that's-
this happen
that's
before.
the vibe, though,
Where the
and that's-
main guy,
Oh,
the
yeah,
main
it's kinda
guy,
interesting.
can't get in.
isn't it
a word in
refreshing?
edgewise.
Isn't it refreshing though? Because usually
It
the
is
main
super refreshing.
character,
It
the
is
main
actually-
singer
you
is
are
just
correct.
like, oh, here's my ego. I just want to talk the entire time. You know what I mean?
But
It's
we
like,
said
that's
it before.
not how we are.
We said it before though. But I'll give.
I've got a couple anecdotes for you on the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
out.
yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you,
Absolutely.
bro. Because what you just said,
It's really nice
That
not
is hard.
having that in a band.
were you gonna say?
honestly.
Well, just once again, I was just gonna say. I mean, come to the show Friday. I mean, Shannon.
Yeah,
speaks,
Friday,
He speaks from
June
stuff on
6th,
stage.
Day
It
Block
is-
Brewing. I think doors are at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And I
That's
promise
what we're
you,
repping.
I promise you, and I will literally put my entire reputation on the line.
Oh yeah.
All 4 bands are legit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We know
And
that.
they're gonna
that's
bring-
why.
they're
That's
gonna
why
bring
we
the-
hired.
they're
That's
gonna
why
bring
we
the
hired
players.
y'all for this.
Do you know how rare this is to be
Yeah.
able to say that? though?
Absolutely.
Well, and we've set the
Yeah.
tone that we actually want. It's like each opener should be pushing the next. It's not. This isn't about what can you draw. It's like yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever. We're gonna have a crowd and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But it's like let's put this show on. Let's
Just
do
fair
Mi-
warning,
yeah,
though,
do Minneapolis proud.
Casanats are probably gonna steal the show. Just
Good.
so you know, like
Good.
those guys.
Good.
Those guys are
Good.
so good.
Then
do
we need
it.
to step it up. That's
Yep.
what we
Good.
please do that,
I
and then
like
we'll
it.
go
Yeah.
into our practice next Tuesday, and we'll just fucking work 10,000 times harder.
It's going to be almost impossible for us to follow Casanatra. Just so you know.
Good.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna leave
Yes.
like
That's
a dead
that's the
zone
right
because
pick.
Casanatra's so good. We're gonna leave a weird little dead zone, and it's gonna make you guys look like Metallica.
Bullshit. There's no way, dude. We're having someone. No,
Stand up for yourself, man. Come on now.
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing too.
dude,
We
I'm pretty
really
cocky, bro. I'm pretty cocky, so let me be humble when I'm being
I got
humble.
you. I got you. Yeah, yeah.
we love. I mean, we are just music fans. Every show, we just watch the bands. We
We gotta
so
get out of here, but
We're gonna be there for you. Well, I mean, if nothing else,
we're gonna get out of here, but I still need something to drink on the way out.
No, but I'm just saying when you guys just don't even worry about it. When you guys are playing, we'll be into it. We will be there front row. So.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the
That's our
last
jam.
thing. That's the last thing I want to say is if anybody wants to know the best way to support the local scene, something I pulled from Paul Dockendorf, who is, if you guys want to know how to do things right, and I'm talking to the listeners more than my guests,
Yeah.
go back and watch the Paul Dockendorf podcast because everything we discuss in that podcast literally gives you every single possible thing you need to know at every layer, metaphorically and literally, how to do it.
Hell yeah.
I think we're very close to what Paul Dockendorf would give a full thumbs up on.
Cool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we might get a side thumbs
That's
and,
okay,
and
yeah.
a plus thumbs
Yeah.
Cool.
because
I'll
I
take it.
think we
There's-
joined a little last minute
Yeah.
and we would have preferred to pull billboards like that's my thing.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, I want to do billboards like I want to do
Really
the
do it.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Hell
why I
yeah.
said let's do a thing in a
Hell
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
1 year from
yeah.
now. 1 year from now.
Yeah.
Let's do a thing.
Maybe 6
Together.
months from now.
Let's do it.
Together.
Hell yeah, bro.
Now
Love it.
here's the danger, boys.
Yep. We said it.
Who's gonna outdry each other?
That's a nice
I like
competition
that
to have.
competition. Let's
That's
You
a
see what's
nice
happening?
competition
You see
to
what's
have.
happening?
Yeah.
But dude,
What's
the
gonna
best
happen
is-
1 year from now? Who's gonna headline?
But
That's
here's the
what I
best
wanna
part
do.
is,
Absolutely.
1 year from now, are you headlining or are we headlining? Because we're gonna do this 365 days from now, or 370 days, or whatever it is. 1 year from now,
and for the fans listening, you're gonna get the best show either
I
way.
think you guys
Yeah.
are gonna
Like it
headline.
won't matter who's headlining because
I
we're
think
gonna be
you're
just.
I think
'cause
you guys are gonna
whoever
headline.
whoever's before the headliner is gonna be fucking sending it. You know, like to, so it's like it's either way is gonna be great. You
Yeah,
know, like
it's almost better to be
'Cause we
before the headliner because like
Kinda,
you're gonna you're gonna try to hit it even harder.
I
Like,
would kinda
fuck
love
these
that.
guys, we're
Yeah.
gonna knock them out of the fucking
Yeah, if you
corner.
guys
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
more. Hell yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
so fucking
same.
fun.
Yeah.
I love
This
you
is
guys
good
so
energy.
much.
This is
Dude,
very good energy.
Seriously,
I love it.
there's only been a couple times I've met this many people
Yeah.
on the podcast, and there's 0 times this has happened where I'm vibing this hard
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
group of
exactly.
dudes.
And, like,
I love you
people
guys.
can see
I
that.
hope
yeah.
nothing but the best for you guys.
Thank you.
And I want everybody I care about and everybody who believes in me, I want them to put their weight behind you.
Absolutely.
Maybe they don't
That
like your
means a
music.
lot, dude. It means
Maybe
so
they don't
much.
like your style, your genre. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We'll filter them
Filter
out.
those out. It's all about
But-
meeting the people that want to listen to your music.
Exactly. But
the attitude, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
but there's also those people who just want to support hardworking entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Let's give them 100%, boys. Let's
yeah.
give everything we got
Every
to
time.
heed the warning.
Every time.
Fucking
You'll get it.
Great fucking band name.
You'll get
Yeah.
it.
Unlike mine, Unlike mine, the Montoya Machine, stupid band name.
No.
Come on, man. It's like Van Halen.
It is.
It's good.
Hey, by the way,
I love it.
because Montoya
Jeremy
is
did
not
write all that
clearly
music
a
by
last
himself.
name.
It's his project. He
But it's
wrote
n-
all that.
It's not obviously a person's name. That's what makes it. It's all. I mean, it's really.
Yeah, that's
that
a
is
really good point.
It really
doesn't,
is a
it
strong
doesn't
name.
necessarily sound like a last name. It
God,
could be,
no, not at
could be
all.
It's
anything.
unique.
It's
It
a
is what it
nice
is.
sounding like word.
If it was
honestly.
a first name last name project, then it's a problem. But the
Like the
Montoya.
Alan Parsons.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
No, that I mean, the Montoya project honestly like has a ton of legs. Does not feel like a person's
It
name.
is what it is, man. I mean, he writes
gonna
great
make it
songs, dude.
on
It's
Friday.
supposed to be all about him. Like, that's what I want people to
great
stop.
then. Yeah.
Stop arguing with. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Right.
Stop bringing it up.
Yeah.
Yes. It's literally all about him.
Yeah.
He's a creative genius.
And everybody's-
it's his
and everyone's on
fucking
board.
solo project. And
For
I
sure.
am dedicating part of my life to manifest his reality.
Absolutely.
Because I believe in him because
Yep.
he writes great fucking songs, bro.
Yep.
That's what it means to be a part of a team, dude.
100%.
And when you're in a rhythm section, that's what it means.
Well, that's
is
also-
to be the offensive line who
Yes.
gets no fucking credit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a really old.
tie
Till you-
back to the
till you
beginning.
Well, it's
screw
of
it.
also
our
a
podcast.
really old school tradition of being the rhythm section supporting a singer-songwriter. I mean, that traditional three-piece, it's like those, the bass and the drummer are just following that guy. It does not matter where he goes. That is such a, I mean, it's like, and your job is to just 100% show up and play perfect, essentially. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't, you're not supposed to make
Ghetto
mistakes.
version?
Yeah.
Ghetto version? Here's what your job is. Be dope.
There
No,
you
for
go.
real. For real.
Yeah, no, hell yeah.
Fuck
All the-
off.
yes.
And if I gotta
Yeah,
add a
basses and drummers.
seconds, fuck off
Yep.
and be dope.
Yep.
Fuck off and be dope.
So for all
That's
the
your
kids,
fucking job.
Yeah.
Fuck off and be dope. It's not about you.
Yep.
You're just part of this machine, dude.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you might be Shannon. Maybe you might be fucking Wally. Maybe you might be Jeremy Montoya. Maybe you... Okay, but guess what? Those guys had to get that. They had to earn that. They
100%.
didn't just show up day one.
Yeah.
This motherfucker didn't just... I mean,
No.
he looks like he did just show up and just be that guy.
That's his
I'm
aloof
not gonna lie.
attitude, though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You did show up like you showed up. You do look like you just showed up yesterday as a creative genius and are legit.
No, he's been doing
You
this.
do
He's
have
been
the
doing
vibe.
this for many
you
years.
do have the vibe.
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
have the vibe.
Yeah.
So,
Backs it up. But you're right. But I would
but
even.
he probably put in the work.
Well,
Oh, no,
that's
he's
the thing I was
not
gonna say is
probably.
like
He probably has 20 years worth of
he also
bullshit.
just
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
up and
yeah.
he's dope. Like it's the same, as a guy. But for real,
No, he's like
as a guy that was a drummer his whole
He
life.
does
That's
look like he just showed up as
dude,
dope.
he was nothing but a rhythm section his whole
Yeah.
life. His whole pedigree is.
When
just
did you, Shannon? When
show
did
up
you
and
start
be dope.
playing drums?
I got my first drum kit when I was 3.
God damn.
There you go.
You got me
So,
beat.
yeah.
So I started doing when I was 14,
There you
and
go.
it's like
25.
34 now.
I was 13.
So this
I
is
was
like
on
20
tour
years.
with a metal band when I was like, I'm gonna play drums.
I'm a
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I'm a year
Just-
before Mike. I'm with the record show.
Yeah, nice job.
I'm 1 year ahead of Mike.
Well, fuck yeah.
I've been working
I'm
1 year
gonna-
ahead of
You
Mike.
know,
I'm gonna
regardless,
embarrass
it's like
this entire
it's like
bill.
decades that we've all been like doing this shit. So we know what's up, and that's the reason why when we make music, it just happens. We don't have to talk about it. It just fucking happens, and it happens good. Like it sounds good. I hate to toot my own horn, but like it does sound good. It does sound
sweet.
really
That's all it is.
good. It sounds really good.
I'm so
He's in
stoked,
his
dude.
headphones. He's like, "This is the last time I invite Mike on a podcast when he starts doing that low."
He's have to listen to his voice in a microphone. He's like, oh, I like this.
Oh yeah, this is good. I love getting right into the microphone and being like, anyways,
It's called the proximity effect.
that's exactly correct. And like, I love to make people laugh, and I love to
Do your
share
Kenneth
my
Kniff
music.
impression.
Who?
Kenneth Kniff.
Who's that?
Motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Kenneth Kniff.
This is why I do this. I want to affect people's emotions. That's a callback from earlier.
You guys got
Sometimes-
a rehearsal to get to. We got to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
guys.
yeah. I
Jesus
don't want to
Christ.
stop talking, but like, unfortunately, like, yeah, we got to
No,
practice.
but
another.
seriously,
We'll do another.
this is how
Yeah.
dedicated you guys are.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The night of the
double
podcast,
duty. Double
I just
fucking
want to
duty.
point this out. This is what nobody else does. I just want to point this out. This is why I'm building respect
Yes.
and displaying and projecting respect for these men. They're slamming beers. We drink whiskey. But guess what they're doing after this podcast? They're going to rehearsal.
Yep.
This is
you
what
do.
none of you guys are doing. This is why you guys aren't successful.
Yeah.
We did a podcast, but they still have to do a rehearsal. There isn't a
Want to do a
compromise.
rehearsal.
They didn't take the night off.
Yep.
They didn't do any of those things.
Oh,
They're
no.
still going to go do their fucking job. This is what separates the men from the boys.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any possible way we could wrap this up better than that.
I agree.
I respect
That
you
was-
guys
that was-
so much. I can't possibly look forward to Friday
Oh,
more
bro.
Same here.
than this.
It's
I
great
back
love you
at ya.
guys. Cheers, boys.
Love you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nope, that's an empty glass.
Yep, that is-
That's bad
Get
luck.
that man
That's
some
bad
beer.
luck.
Give him some mouthwash beer.
All right.
Oh, nice. That's a good
All
combo.
right, cheers,
Hell
boys.
yeah.
We're
Hell
out of
yeah.
here.
Now
Love you
Shannon's
guys.
drinking- Shannon's
Love you guys.
Shannon's drinking beer.
Seriously, get out of here.